ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, Corrupt decided today was the day that he wanted to do this. Ladies and we don't do the normal intro. Listen, y'all. What's about to go down is something that has been in the works for a while, actually. Something that we've done in the
C.
past.
Yes, it has.
Something that we might do in the future. We'll probably will do in the future.
Definitely will.
Corrupt today was the day that he chose to come on this channel
Violence.
and do the part 2 of the NBA live debate show on this channel.
Part
Part 2.
two.
Part 1 was interesting. Part 1, we had a lot of interesting debates. Part 1, we had a lot of topics um, that were interesting. So part 2 should be nothing less than just excitement. This right here with the topics we had today. I just think that it's going to be a lot of topics that you guys enjoy. I haven't. I think this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. So we have Mike Nixon, Arturo, and Josh, the first three in here.
The
Arturo
goats.
says, "Why do you exist?"
Well, so what happened was one day my mother, Tanya, my dad, Michael, decided, they were gonna have I exist because I'm awesome. I'm corrupt. That's why I exist, Arturo.
Uh, Arturo, he said he exists, and if you have a problem with it, then you can call his phone. But listen. Corrupt is about to take such a big loss. I mean, it's gonna be a bigger loss than the Colts' whole season. I'm sorry, Arturo, but the Colts have been trash. But that's a
So,
different topic. What's up, Big Play Slay? Big Play Slay, what you're about to witness is Corrupt going down today. But
what? That's a weird way to say corrupt is gonna win. So weird.
nah.
That's so
But
weird, bro. I've never heard that. Is
before
that
we
like a what language is that?
before we get in this before we start these debates, Corrupt, just so the people have an idea of what we're gonna be debating and stuff today, I'll give them some of the topics that we have today. So we have interesting topic, a topic that me and Corrupt have been passionate on for almost a year. Who's the better player out of Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell? That's gonna be the debate that we're gonna start off with. Then we have another one. Who are you gonna build a team around, Luca or Giannis? Two young players in the NBA with a lot of potential. Giannis recently get a championship, but we're gonna see what happens there. Then we have an interesting debate: who is the better defender, Matisse Thybulle or Drew Holiday? Now, you guys might be thinking you're crazy for bringing this up, but just wait until we get there. Oh, it's gonna be. Oh, I brought up some things that is gonna surprise a lot of you, and then
Shoot.
I think an interesting one, and I think this is the one the chat will be most involved in, is what is the hardest championship to win? That right there, I mean, a lot of people had, the 3-1 comeback. You got the 2011 NBA Finals for the Dallas Mavericks. It's a lot of things you can say for this one. So, we got a lot of crazy topics today. But for everyone who's in the chat right now, out of all the debates that we have, who do you think, and we're going to do it before and then after the debate, we're going to ask this question, but who do you think is going to win these debates today? Who's going to come out the ultimate winner?
And to sway
Because
your opinions a little bit, all I want to say is that MG, he's chilling you. He's a good debater, but I woke up and I got pizza. I'm just saying.
oh, you got pizza.
Me with
Come
my
on now.
pan pizza, you can't argue with him. You can't.
Oh, the pan pizza. See, here's the thing, Corrupts. I'm gonna go get my celebration uh meal after I beat you. So
Uh,
I was just waiting, honestly.
I
Um,
wanted to get it a little bit more earlier. Just saying.
so Big Play Slay says I'm gonna win. Mike Nixon says I'm gonna win, and Arturo says it's gonna be a tie.
Uh,
Well, when you look at our last one, I mean, it was kind of a tie. The last time we debated, a lot of our debates came down to a tie. Ooh, that's tough. Some Corrupt will win, some MG could win. Could come down to the wire. Yep. And then also too, before we get into these topics, after me and Corrupt are done debating the topics we have, we'll do kind of an open NBA talk where I'll drop the link to in chat and y'all can come on the stream. Y'all can come talk and join and give your opinions on different things, NBA rules, different NBA topics that you guys want to talk about. Kind of just get an open perspective of everyone else. But
Yeah, basically what I wanted to do was
hmm
originally there was gonna be like 5 discussions, but I boiled it out to 4. And then I
hmm
wanted the fifth part to be like an open discussion with everybody, right? People come on here, can talk with us. And I
yeah,
wanted to basically, what I mainly want to talk about is, of course, we can talk about the other things and what we debated, yada, 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 and or
right.
even your teams or whatever. But what I
hmm
really wanted to talk about was one, Ben Simmons, and two, I wanted to talk about the newest NBA rules that has been implemented in the game. I do want to talk about that a little bit because it's very interesting. Very interesting.
All right, big play Suns. What time we're gonna leave around like what 1:30?
Two,
1:32. So
1:30.
yeah. Yeah, so around that. So we'll be on for a while. So if you're gonna leave at 12, we're probably still gonna be on after that. So you can definitely come and join and do what you gotta do. But corrupts, before we get into today's debate,
Yeah.
everyone, his channel link is in the description. He posted some Ravens content and some Spurs content. So if you want to go hype the dude up and go tell him that he lost all the debates, go in his comment section and do that. He posts this here and there, and if you want to get a good perspective on the Ravens, and you want to get a good perspective on the Spurs, I'm not a Spurs or Ravens fan, so definitely that's the place to go for if you want thoughts and opinions on those teams. But we got someone in the chat who I believe his first time and I've ever seen him was in the debate show, Karam. That's the first time I've seen him in the chat was the first debate show, and now he's back here for
He's
the
back
second one.
for me to win.
So Karam, he knows what time it is. He knows, but corrupts. Any final words before we get into our first topic of the day?
It's gonna be a very good debate show. I can't wait for the NBA season to come. Um,
Yep.
it's gonna be very good. It's a great to have it back
hmm
at like October because I don't know if I could wait a couple months. If they started at December again, I don't know if I could do that again. Honestly, I'm so
Yeah.
glad that we're back. So glad we're back to our normal schedule. So back.
Yep.
So
Our
back.
regularly scheduled program. All right. Without a further ado, corrupt. Let's get into this. So, for the first topic of the day, we got to start off with, come on, the one, the only Donovan Mitchell
Um,
versus Devin Booker debate. And matter of fact, you can start first since you're the guest. We gotta watch. You gotta let the guest go first. But
all right. So before I go into why
hmm
Donovan Mitchell is better than Devin Booker,
oh
I just want
man,
to say that this has been a huge argument me and MG has been having for good now, like over a year. And not
yeah,
only have we been arguing about it, people on Twitter, the media, everybody's been arguing about Devin Booker or Donovan Mitchell.
hmm
It's probably one of the most recent and modern debates we have right now in the NBA. So
hmm
I think Donovan Mitchell is a better player, and I
okay,
think that why is I think one. I just
hmm
think he's the better all around player. I think he's a better defensive player. I think he's the better finisher, and I think he's a better 3-point shooter than Devin Booker. Now, I will give Devin Booker this. I'll give Devin Booker this. I do think he's a slightly better facilitator, and he's a better mid-range shooter. But I
hmm
just think overall, I think that Donovan Mitchell is a better player than
hmm
Devin Booker. And
hmm
to argue Devin Booker did amazing in the playoffs, this. I'll argue this. First off, Rudy Gobert
hmm
is not good. Okay, that's an over exaggeration. I should say Rudy Gobert is overrated and gets exposed all the time in the playoffs. It's not just this year. Last year he did, and the year before that, especially against the Clippers, he did not play good defense that series.
hmm
And of course, if you look at the Suns team, yes, Devin Booker and Chris Paul, but they also have all these other young guys and good veterans too. They had Jay Crowder, they had McCall Bridges. Oh man, who went off?
Cameron Payne.
Cameron Payne went off in the playoffs. I think that if you're looking at the team, I think the Suns have the better coach with Monty Williams and the better team than the Jazz. I think that's why Devin Booker had a more successful time in the playoffs than Donovan Mitchell. But
Okay.
if you look at the stats too, Donovan Mitchell had scored more points
hmm
and was a way more efficient 3-point shooter than Devin Booker in these playoffs. Way more. And I want to
Mhm.
say that in that Clippers game, in that Clippers series, Donovan Mitchell was carrying that Jazz team.
All right. So listen here. I think that listen, Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell. One thing I'll give him credit for is that he does have to deal with playing Rudy Gobert, and Rudy Gobert could be annoying to play with at times. I got to give it to him. But the thing with Devin Booker is, and we have some efficiency stats here. Devin Booker, when you talk about all around shooter, I mean, I think we've discussed this on our Zach Levine and Donovan Mitchell topic, where when you come to efficiency, Donovan Mitchell has moments where he is not efficient, and that can hurt your team in some big moments. Uh, a game against my Sixers, he had 34 points, but his shooting splits was 12 for 34. That's not good. And when you talk about Devin Booker, his 3-point shot's not always falling, but as you see right here, the stat I have, he is 54% from 2-point land. So even when Devin Booker's not shooting well from the three, his mid-range shot, and he can always drive to the rim, and he always has this good pull-up jumper in the mid-range area, at the elbow, which I really love. Um, and that's the biggest thing right there. When Donovan Mitchell, when his three ball is not hitting, then he's cold. He's pretty much cold from everywhere else, unless he drives to the rim or gets a foul or something. And then when you talk about the 3-point shot, Donovan Mitchell had better percentages this year. But other than this year, I think Devin Booker throughout both their careers, Devin Booker has always been the better 3-point shooter, in my opinion, unless I'm wrong about something. But I just think, I mean, obviously Devin Booker has a 3-point contest to prove of that. But like the 3-point contest matters that much. I mean, Donovan Mitchell could probably be competitive there too. But when you come to efficiency, when you come to how Devin Booker can score in the mid range when his 3-point shot is not falling, that right there is what is the biggest thing for me. And people always say, well, before this playoffs, Devin Booker can't carry the Suns in the playoffs like Donovan Mitchell has to carry Rudy Gobert. Well, that was before the playoffs. And in this year's playoffs, it's changed. When Chris Paul was injured against the Lakers, Devin Booker was forced to elevate his game against LeBron James. He did that. Chris Paul, a little bit banged up. Devin Booker said, you know what? I got the Nuggets. Let me finish them out. And against the Clippers, I believe game one or two, him and Paul George went head to head. Devin Booker, 40 points game one. I mean, the fact, and I was so excited for him to go into the playoffs this year because before the playoffs started, before the Suns got into the playoffs, the narrative that Devin Booker was not going to perform in the playoffs annoyed me. And everyone, they said, well, if Booker can't perform in the playoffs, then he's not better than Donovan Mitchell or he's not better than this guy, that guy. Well, that's changed. That's changed. Devin Booker showed he can carry a team in the playoffs. And like I said, it sucks that Donovan Mitchell, because I'm not a Rudy Gobert fan either. And it sucks that he has to play with him. But when you just talk about the efficiency, when you talk about his ability, Devin Booker, even when he's cold from one spot of the floor, he can create shots to the other. When you talk about his ability he's gotten better every year facilitating the floor. And when you talk about assist numbers, they're pretty close. You can give the edge to Booker. But I just love that Devin Booker, no matter what, always has his mid-range shot to go to when he's cold from everywhere else. I love the fact that he proves he can win in the playoffs. And I love the fact that he is not the best 3-point shooter, but he can hit threes as well. And he's shown to be a high-level 3-point shooter as well. And I think he's more efficient than Donovan Mitchell and corrupt. You can respond to that, but that's my take on
All
this
right.
debate.
So the efficiency argument is a good argument, right? But
Hmm.
when I look at Donovan Mitchell and why I think he is better than Devin Booker and better than a lot of these other guys is
Hmm.
playoff elevation. Now, could go in the stats, like I have.
Hmm.
These playoffs, he was actually and I would argue, more efficient than Devin Booker these playoffs. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure Devin Booker had a 44% shooting percentage. So did Donovan Mitchell. But here's the difference. Donovan Mitchell had he had a 38 3-point percentage, while Devin Booker had a lower one, which was around 34% from 3 points. Of course, like you said, yes, Devin Booker is better with 2-point shots, of course, right? But
Hmm.
still, if you're looking at it like that, Donovan Mitchell and Devin Booker had the same efficiency. Guess who scored the most points? Guess who has the worst team? Donovan Mitchell. And these past 2 years also show it too. This year he averaged 32.7 points per game on a 45% efficiency. Devin Booker did 27 on the same efficiency. Of course, like I said, Donovan Mitchell had a higher 3-point percentage. And then
Hmm.
the year before that, he had something crazy. He had like 50-42 splits with 35 points per game against the
In the
Nuggets.
playoffs.
Of course, he lost that in a 7-game series because he was the only one carrying that series. Mike Conley wasn't
Hmm.
good. Rudy Gobert wasn't good. And that's the biggest thing that I want to say, right? You did say Devin Booker, yada yada. Oh, they didn't do this in the playoffs. Okay. But he didn't have Chris Paul before that. And Chris Paul was really good in the playoffs. I think
Hmm.
he was playing better than Devin Booker up until the finals. I'll give you Devin Booker played well in the finals, but Chris Paul, I'm pretty sure, was the better player I think so, throughout the playoffs. And you might be like, oh,
But
but he scored more points. He scored more points. No, Chris Paul's facilitated and all that kind of stuff. Ooh, he was very good. Now, I want to say another thing. 3-point shot. You said that you think Devin Booker just in general is a better 3-point shooter, and besides this season, that's actually false. Donovan Mitchell, first off, this season, yes, he has a better 3-point percentage. He also did that with more shots attempted from the three than Devin Booker. But last year was the exact same thing. Donovan Mitchell was a higher 3-point was more efficient on 3-point line, and he did it in more attempts than Devin Booker. And also, throw in a little bit something else at you. Donovan Mitchell tends to turn over the ball less than Devin Booker has. If you look at the playoffs, Devin Booker has a lot of games. He has 6, 5, 4 turnovers. While Donovan Mitchell is 2 to 3. The most he had was 4 in one game against the Clippers. Donovan Mitchell Donovan Mitchell is a better 3-point shooter. And you keep on telling me he's not, but I need you to admit the stats say it. If you watch the games, it says it. He is a better 3-point shooter than Devin Booker, and you know it. You know it. Made more threes on higher efficiency and more attempts than Devin Booker. This year he was a 38 percentage from the three on more
hmm
attempts than Devin Booker. And then last year he was still higher than Devin Booker, but it was 36% from three. He was higher than Devin Booker on more threes. You need to stop this conversation that Devin Booker is somehow a better 3-point shooter than Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is a way better 3-point shooter. Not way better, but
hmm
he's just better than Devin Booker 3-point shooting wise. And I
hmm
still think that these playoffs, I think Donovan Mitchell was the better player. One, because he didn't have. I think he had worse. I think he just did more for his team because, of course, he didn't have good teammates. He had
hmm
good teammates, but he didn't have as much help as Devin Booker did. That's what I think. And I also want to
Actually,
add.
hmm
Well, actually, no, you go.
well, what I was gonna say was the 3-point shot actually is not what I was responding. You said something
Chris
that
Paul.
I don't think is true. That Chris Paul was the best player on the Suns. Well, when you look at it, Chris Paul was actually injured for the first playoff series and a little bit throughout the Nuggets series. And like I said, in those series, when Chris Paul was injured in multiple games, Devin Booker stepped up and was the best player for the Suns. Chris Paul against the Lakers, he had a game where he had, I think, less than 10 points and he didn't have a high number of assists. But guess what? Devin Booker said, "Hop on the backpack and I got you." That's the thing that I don't think people are understanding is that Devin Booker does Chris Paul elevate this team? Yes, I don't want to take anything away from Chris Paul, but Devin Booker, when it comes down to it, I think he is the best player on the Suns, and I think it showed a lot in the playoffs. Like I said, I don't want Chris Paul came to that team and took it to the next level. It took it to the playoffs. You saw last year in the bubble, the Suns they were right into the playoffs, 8-0 in the bubble, all this and that. Chris Paul, yes, elevated them there, but I just think that Devin Booker is the best player on that team. So when it comes down to that, I think that that is it goes to Devin Booker. And when it comes to playoff performances, Donovan Mitchell did have some good playoff games. I think Booker was the all-around better player in this year playoffs. Now, obviously, he did play more playoff games, so it doesn't help that Donovan Mitchell got second rounded. But I just think when it comes down to it, who is the better player this playoffs? I think I can give it to Booker. And when it comes to all around offensively, I can give it to Booker. And then defensively, I think you can give that to Donovan Mitchell. But I think the 3-point shot, you got that one. But other than that, I think I give a lot of other things to Devin Booker on the offensive side of the ball. So,
So
any final points you have for this?
you said that Chris Paul, would sometimes disappear, and then Devin Booker would have to show up and all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
The
He
same thing
was.
happened though, vice versa. There was games where, and it was horrible efficiency too, where Devin Booker would have like a 25 field goal percentage, right? And Chris Paul would have to step up. They both had games like that. If you look, Donovan Mitchell was more consistent, and I would say Donovan Mitchell did not have a single like bad game. When with Devin Booker,
Hmm.
Devin Booker, in the playoffs, and
Hmm.
Devin Booker did have bad games in the playoffs, and of course, Devin Booker had more games. But what I'm saying is, through 10 games, Donovan Mitchell did not have a single bad game. He did not have a single bad game where you were like, okay, he's the reason why this team is not doing as well. With Devin Booker, you can definitely say that. You can definitely say that. Oh no, you haven't looked at this. No, 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 no. No, don't look at me like that. It was one finals game. It was in the finals against Milwaukee. He shot horrible. It was like 25% field goal percentage, and he only got like 15 points or something like that. It was horrible. And he had 2, 3 more games like that throughout the entire playoffs. I think Donovan Mitchell was just more consistent, and I think he was just playing better, more this season.
So okay. Well, when you look at the playoffs too, this year's playoffs,
Okay.
when you talk about how Devin Booker had a couple of bad games, which I didn't see about the NBA Finals one. I didn't see that, but you might be right. But also, too, you can argue that Devin Booker had harder competition in this year's playoffs. Round one, Donovan Mitchell faced the Grizzlies, who were without, I believe, who either Jaren Jackson was not there, so John Morant had to do everything. Where Devin Booker, even though AD got injured, you still got to face LeBron James. Come on, dude. We talking about LeBron. He had to
Okay.
face LeBron James.
All right.
And round two, Devin Booker had to face the MVP of the league. And yes, it was without Jamal Murray. And Donovan Mitchell had to face the Clippers without Kawhi. So they both face injured teams. And in round three, Devin Booker did what Donovan Mitchell couldn't elevate himself against the Clippers. So you can argue, and then the NBA Finals, obviously, Devin Booker played the NBA champion. So you can say that Donovan Mitchell did have better games than Devin Booker, but Devin Booker had so much tough competition that he had to fight through and corrupt. He was having all these amazing games in the playoffs, and guess what? It was his first playoff appearance. This dude is a rookie when it comes to playoff basketball. Had 40-point games against the Clippers, 38-point games against the Lakers. Dominated the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets had no life.
Denver Nuggets not
Come
that good
on.
though.
And then
Come
the first and they I ain't gonna lie, they choked the Bucks series. It was up 2-0. I ain't gonna lie. That was the whole Suns team just choked the Bucks series. But when you look at it, in the first two games of the Bucks series, Devin Booker did decent there as well. So Devin Booker elevated his game, had you could argue higher playoff competition, and it was his first playoff season, first year in the playoffs. And the fact he was in certain aspects, he was able to compare with Donovan Mitchell in certain stats in the playoffs, with it being his first. That right there is why I love Devin Booker in this conversation.
So you brought up how the competition, right? I want to say real quick
Hmm.
that Grizzlies was not no just John Morant team.
No, no,
That
no,
was
they
a
weren't no push
that
off.
was
But come on, the
no.
Grizzlies and Lakers play in the playoff series. Come on, come on.
Okay, let's go to the Lakers then. Let's go to the Lakers then.
Hmm.
Anthony Davis was injured like throughout
Indeed, yeah, and
all of it,
Jaren
right?
Jackson was injured
Most
for
of
the
it.
Grizzlies, so it was all right.
No, 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 no. You don't understand my point though. You don't understand my point.
Hmm.
You don't understand my point. The Grizzlies played better than the Lakers in the playoffs, and
Okay.
I think that's just true. And I'm saying that because Yes, they had like that one game where they won, right? Just
Mhm.
played amazing, right? The Lakers.
Mhm.
But especially after Anthony Davis got injured, and I think it was game 3 or 4, pretty sure it was 3.
Mhm.
LeBron James, he did not play like LeBron James. You brought up the LeBron James. He did not play like LeBron James. Every time
Okay.
first he just looked like he gave up on a lot of, especially defensively. He just kept on whining to the ref, all that kind of stuff. That wasn't no LeBron. That was no LeBron. That wasn't no Lakers LeBron. I just won a championship LeBron. That is just false. That's just false. Um, and you have to remember the Memphis Grizzlies. First off, John Morant was putting up 40 almost like every night,
Mhm.
and then they also had other guys, right? Oh my God, I cannot. Dylan Brooks
Dylan Brooks.
playing all NBA defense throughout the entire series. The Grizzlies, I think played better than the Lakers in the first round. And then you go to the Clippers, right? And ooh,
The
I mean,
Nuggets.
I can't really argue that point because y'all did go against the Clippers. I mean, like the only really thing I can say is that the Clippers just played
Mhm.
better when they were against the
Rudy
Jazz.
Gobert sucks. You want to say it? Rudy Gobert
I heard
sucks.
it sucks.
You want to say it?
But what I'm trying to say is that the competition wasn't as fucking.
Mhm.
It wasn't as just like, oh, the Suns definitely had just out of the water better competition. The Bucks, I'll give you that. The Bucks are
Okay.
but they beat them. The Bucks beat the Suns, right?
Mhm.
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like, man, you know, let's look at some of those games that I was talking about. Well, I was talking
Mhm.
about where he didn't do so well, right? And I think is very important, right? Ooh, come on. So against Milwaukee, he was 3 for 14, game 3, 3 for 14, 10 points, 10 points. That I don't like that at all. He was like,
Okay.
and then he was 5 for 21 against the Clippers, and that's where
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure they did lose that game. My bad. There's just this is what I'm talking about, right? You bring up efficiency for Donovan Mitchell, but Devin Booker in the playoffs
Mhm.
actually was worse than Donovan Mitchell efficiency wise, right? Like my point is that Chris Paul, right, the Chris Paul, Devin Booker had somebody to lean on. Good song by the way. Had somebody to lean on when he wasn't playing so good. Well, Donovan Mitchell, if he wasn't playing good, they're gonna get swept by any team in the playoffs. Jordan Clarkson, yeah, he played okay, but he wasn't playing like Jordan Clarkson in the regular season. He wasn't playing like Sixth Man of the Year, Jordan Clarkson, right? And then, of course, who else? Mike Conley. He was a pretty good facilitator, but he didn't score like Donovan Mitchell or Jordan Clarkson, right? And he didn't play good at all against the Clippers. And of course, he's old. And then Rudy Gobert is overrated, exposed, especially against the Clippers, bro. He got exposed in the paint too. He's supposed to be the best rim protector ever, and this man got dunked on, laid up on, all this kind of stuff, all this kind of stuff. And then you look at the Suns. Cameron Payne is going off. Jay Crowder's hitting threes sometimes, bro. McCall Bridges is going up. Wow! I cannot even believe I forgot my boy DeAndre Ayton, who just became one of the best bigs in the playoffs. Like nothing. He played better than Rudy Gobert this playoffs, by the way. Anyways, the Suns just had an overall better team than Donovan Mitchell, and Donovan Mitchell was doing everything he can for that Jazz team and carried that Jazz team while doing it more
Mm.
efficiently than Devin Booker in the playoffs. In the regular season, yes, Devin Booker is more efficient. But why I like Donovan Mitchell so much is how much he elevates his game in the playoffs. In the playoffs, he is one of the best players in the NBA. 35 points per game on 50-42 splits. And then last playoffs, 2 playoffs ago, last playoffs, 32 on 45-38 splits, which is pretty freaking good. Better than Devin Booker, who was 44 for 34 splits. I'm just saying, Donovan Mitchell, and of course, to top it all off, Donovan Mitchell is the better defender.
I'm gonna end it off like this with a couple of points. First off, you want to talk about better team so much. One team was a 1 seed and the other team wasn't, and you let that take you to wherever. So, and we had a debate
The
that
Suns were the
you
second
said the
seed.
Jazz. Yeah, but I'm just saying you debated me all the way up into the playoffs last year that the Jazz were the better team. So we don't want to just crap on the Jazz now because now they are a bad
Why?
team.
Why
When
can't I?
you
Why can't I
debated
just?
me to a T, you debated me to a T that the Jazz were better than the Suns. Corrupts, and also too, when even outside of the playoffs, when you talk about pure offensive skill, I think that goes to Devin Booker all around. You can take things like Devin Booker's 3-point shot. You can take things like whatever. But when it comes to all around offensive play, I think Devin Booker is better. And defensively, you can get it to Donovan Mitchell, but that's close. That defensively, that's close. But Donovan Mitchell does show up more defensively. But I'm just saying. And by the way, Devin Booker's an underrated defender, but we can
What?
discuss that on another time.
No, he's not.
I
He
people
got
don't talk
cooked
about his
so
defense.
much. That's cat, bro. Come on.
Cooked
Come on.
when?
That's right.
Okay, against Paul George, who also cooked Donovan Mitchell. Okay,
Didn't
okay,
know. He
okay,
got only.
okay,
He wasn't
okay,
only, but he got
okay,
cooked all the fucking time, bro, by
okay.
multiple
He
people.
got
That
cooked
everyone
out
know
Paul
only Paul George.
George. He wasn't guarding Chris Middleton. He was guarding. He was doing good against Drew Holiday. Again in the finals, he was doing solid against Drew Holiday defensively. In the finals, Drew Holiday was more impact defensively in the finals. So, well, you can say Devin Booker got cooked by Paul George, but Paul George cooked Donovan Mitchell too. So, what are we saying here? We saying the same thing. Devin Booker, I don't even think like what? Wait, hold on. Didn't Devin Booker expose Dennis Schroeder for being a fraud? Oh, come on, dude.
Dennis, no,
Oh,
stop
come
it.
on.
Dennis
Oh,
Schroeder
come
exposed
on,
Dennis
dude.
Schroeder. Stop it. Dennis Schroeder exposed Dennis
Come
Schroeder,
on,
bro.
dude.
He exposed
Come on,
himself.
dude.
He was never that good. Stop it. That's don't put that on
Oh,
Devin Booker. That's just cat.
come on.
Stop.
Wait, Dennis Schroeder was he like 6 man of the year potential last year? Come on, yeah, come on, dude. I'm
Bro,
just
stop
saying, bro.
it, dog.
No, because
You
bro, I'm
can't. You
just saying
can't.
because
You
you talking about
no.
Devin Booker getting cooked when he locked up Dennis Schroeder. And look, fine, you can say Dennis
No,
Schroeder
Dennis.
this or that.
He did
He
not lock
locked
up
up
Dennis
Dennis
Schroeder, bro.
Schroeder.
Dennis Schroeder's his ass.
He
Stop
locked
it.
up
Stop
Drew
it.
Holiday. He locked up Drew Holiday. And like I
Drew
said,
Holiday's
Paul
not
George
that
had
good
a good series.
offensively. What?
Wait, Holiday's not that good offensively?
He's
Okay, well
okay,
that's
but
why.
he scored 17 points per game, bro. He wasn't no fucking Devin Booker offensively. He wasn't no fucking
Well, obviously, because Devin Booker is a
Donovan
great
Mitchell.
offensive player. Not a lot of people aren't Devin Booker
Wait a
defensive,
minute. Wait a
offensively.
minute, bro. Hold on, bro. You said that.
And
See how this
what
man likes to twist narratives, bro? No. Dennis Schroeder, bro.
what?
Dennis Schroeder's ass.
Dennis
He was
Schroeder.
ass in the playoffs, bro. He was wide
Okay,
open missing
fine,
shots.
fine,
That's
fine,
tough. Drew
fine.
Holiday, and you
That's
said he
cool.
locked him up. No, Drew Holiday was not
Well,
hitting
he
shots
didn't
either
lock
that
him up.
game
That
too.
was exaggerating, but he did a pretty damn good
Yeah,
job on Holiday. Because Holiday had a
bro.
had a good
Drew
offensive
Holiday did
series
not
against
did
the
not do good
Hawks
in the playoffs offensively at all. If you look at the numbers, bro, he was
against
like he was like
his
he was like a 42% from. Nah. Drew Holiday was not good offensively in the playoffs.
and but
Besides like
he's
three,
saying Devin
four
Booker
points a
got
game.
cooked when
That's
Donovan Mitchell.
stop it.
With the only time you can really say Devin Booker got cooked defensively, where we said Devin Booker played bad, that's against Paul George in the conference
No.
finals, and Donovan Mitchell got cooked by Paul George too. Come on, Paul George
Devin
dropped
Booker
what
was cooked
38 against
more, bro. What you mean? It
cooked more.
wasn't
Oh
just
my
that
god,
series.
that's like
It
saying a steak
wasn't,
that's cooked medium rare and then you cook it rare. You got cooked more. Come on, corrupt. They both got
bro.
cooked.
That's the dude. It wasn't just Paul
They
George, bro.
both got
Multiple
cooked.
people got on that guy, dog, including Chris Middleton, including. No, it was more than it was more. Don't even debate this, bro. You
No,
know Donovan
bro.
Mitchell is a better defender,
Come
bro.
on, bro.
By far. Come
I
on,
know he's a
bro.
better
That's
I never
tough.
said he was. I just said Booker's an underrated defender. You said
Nah,
Booker
nah,
got
but
cooked, and
chat,
I
you
just had
see
to
how he
let you
does this,
know
bro?
that Donovan Mitchell
You see
got
how he
cooked by
does
the
this? He
same
switches
guy.
the narratives. He goes like, oh, he clamps
Well,
up
wait, hold on.
Dennis
When did I
Schroeder.
say?
That's
Hold
tough.
on, hold
That's
on,
come
hold on,
on,
hold on,
dog.
hold on. When did I say that? When? Okay, Dennis Schroeder, that's fine. That's Dennis Schroeder does suck. I was when it comes to that, fine. You
That's
got that.
trolling.
But
That's
when it comes to getting cooked by Paul George, they both got destroyed by Paul George. Come on, bro. They both. But
man, bro.
that's all I got to say about this debate. And we can let the chat decide who's better, who they think won.
Recently
So,
biased. They're gonna go with you because it's Devin Booker, bro. Come on,
mm.
come
but
on, man.
honestly,
I just gave you the
everyone
fact.
in the chat,
I just gave you the facts. He's a better finisher, right?
I gave you the
Let's
facts
do
too.
closing arguments. No, let's do closing arguments then,
Okay,
right?
close on. Go ahead. Go
I'll go
ahead.
first. Donovan Mitchell is better in the playoffs. Just period. Honestly, especially the last two
Okay.
seasons,
I mean,
right?
Booker has one play. That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, we can
Continue.
compare these playoffs also.
Continue.
He's better.
No,
He's better.
I'll respond after. Continue. Continue.
Donovan was better in the playoffs, right? And that's why I like Donovan Mitchell so much. Donovan Mitchell elevated his
Okay.
game to a point where not a lot of it, like he goes from 26 points per game in a regular season to 32, right? He goes from 26 to
Mm-hmm.
35. That's why I like Donovan Mitchell so much, and that's why I think he is better. Somebody like Devin Booker, he's a better 3-point shooter.
Okay.
Like I said, he
Mhm.
just made more threes. He was more efficient at threes, and then of course he's the better finisher and defender. He's also going. You can also depend on Donovan Mitchell not to turn over the ball as much as somebody like Devin Booker. Devin Booker in the playoffs
Mhm.
and even in the regular season had multiple games where it was like 5-6 turnovers, right? Where Donovan Mitchell had
Mhm.
2 to 3 a lot of games. That was like his average, right?
Mhm.
And then going to the team, the Suns were just a better team and had a better coach. At the end of the day, you like to bring up, oh, the regular season, this, and that. Yes, that is true. The Jazz was the #1 seed. But in the playoffs, when it matters, guess whose teammates showed up? The Suns and Devin Booker's teammates showed up, like Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, Cameron Payne, McCall Bridges, Jay Crowder. When you have with the Jazz, not a
Mhm.
lot. It was most of the time Donovan Mitchell was carrying that team. You can also be like Jordan Clarkson had
Okay.
a good game or two. Mike Conley was a good facilitator, but overall, the Suns are a better coached team and had better teammates than with the Jazz compared to the Jazz.
All right. So my closing arguments for this, I mean, I said it earlier. When it comes to efficiency overall, not just playoff runs, when it comes to efficiency overall, Devin Booker is more efficient. Devin Booker's more efficient in the mid-range area. Devin Booker, I think, is just a more efficient player. I mean, I don't have to break it down to this, but it's just when you call about all around efficiency, I think Devin Booker is more efficient. I think Devin Booker, he finds more ways to score. Like I said, when his three ball, and that's the thing. That's why I keep bringing this up. When the 3-point shot is not falling, because a lot of people now guards nowadays rely on the 3-point shot. When Devin Booker has an ability where he does not have to rely on the 3-point shot, and that is so key for him. Um, Devin Booker, his 2-point percentage is 54%, one of the best in the NBA, in all of the NBA. And when you come to defensively, Donovan Mitchell is better, but I think people need to give Devin Booker his respect. And when you talk about the teams, I mean, the Suns did show up, but like I said, man, Devin Booker, we're already having a debate about playoff wise, and it's only his first year. So give and his coach was his first ever playoffs as a head coach. When Donovan Mitchell, he had
Possible.
everybody. When Donovan Mitchell, his coach Quinn Snyder had way more playoff experience than Monty Williams, and but Monty Williams was coach of the year candidate. But that's just my closing arguments. I think Booker is better all around offensively, and I think defensively it's closer than what they give Booker credit for. But I still give it to Donovan Mitchell there. So
All right,
now we
all
we
right.
can let the chat decide. Okay, honestly, that first debate it's a tie. Big Play Slate says it's a tie, but we
Hell of a
both made
great
good
job.
points. But if,
Hell of a great job by the both of you. Amazing points and counter points. Just warming up here. You know it, Mr. Love Fury. You
oh
know it,
yeah,
dog.
all right. So Big Play
Mike
Slate goes
Conley
with
was
the
out against the Clippers. Yes,
that's
when I
that
said
is
that he was a
true.
good when I said he was a good facilitator, I was talking about against the Grizzlies.
The,
And he also made
yeah.
up a point that Donovan Mitchell was out that first game. Yes, he
Hmm.
was. But if you remember, that was a very close game, and people were saying, "Actually, I think the Grizzlies can take take this to 7." And then guess what happened? It was a clear cut that the Jazz were going to win that series after Donovan Mitchell came back. It was like very close in the first game, and then after when Donovan Mitchell came back, Donovan Mitchell just took over.
All right. So let's see. It was a
Oh
tie,
God, steak.
says Mike
Hakeem
Nixon.
said. Hakeem said, "Oh God, steak talk again."
Oh yeah. Oh man, I gotta send you some pictures of some poorly cooked steak corrupts after this,
Oh
man.
no, I've seen it. I've seen it.
Yeah,
It was like
dude.
gray on the
Oh,
top. It was like absolutely just pink in the
yeah.
yeah.
Come on, dude. Come on,
It's
bro.
crazy, bro. Imagine cooking a steak
So
like that. That's something like Josh would do something. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
yeah, Josh. Yeah,
Man, he doesn't
corrupts
know how to
this
cook a steak,
next.
bro. No, I'm joking.
Josh, I think he's just a challenge. I think that's a
A
challenge.
steak off?
I think he's challenged. I think he's
All I want to say is
challenging
I'm
you,
native.
Josh. Why do I think Corrupt would be a good cook? Says Big Play Slay.
Hey, bro. I do a little bit of a rain dance, bless my food, and then the food just comes out magical, bro. All right. Let's get the next
Listen,
debate.
this next debate. Now, a lot of people, this is a more on the underrated side. This is more on the if you're unless you actually watch basketball, you probably won't be too interested in this debate. But this is where we give respect to the clamps, the defensive side of
Oh
the
my
ball.
fucking god.
Corrupts. I'm actually gonna start off with this one
Yeah, please.
because I gotta put people on notice. The
I'd
better
like to.
defender out of Matisse Thybulle and Drew Holiday. Now
All right.
listen, it seems so crazy until you actually until you actually do the research. One thing about Matisse Thybulle, ladies and gentlemen, that is he is a lockdown defender. He can guard the point guard position, the shooting guard position, the small forward position, and sometimes the power forward position, depending, give or take, on who's playing the power forward position. Matisse Thybulle, when it comes to when you compare these guys' defensive stats, they average the same amount of steals, 1.6, and Matisse Thybulle averages more blocks. Matisse Thybulle also averages more blocks on the three-point shot than anyone else in the league. So he's a better three-point defender than Drew Holiday was this season. He was a better shot blocker than Drew Holiday was this season. And on playing less minutes, he was on the same level when it comes to stealing the basketball than Drew Holiday was this season. Matisse Thybulle, let's go to the on and off percentages. Now I'm getting analytical. We're going into the deep stats. Matisse Thybulle, his on and off percentage for blocks. When Matisse Thybulle's on the court, the percentage of a block that the Sixers have increased by 5%. The percentage of the blocks when Drew Holiday was on the court only went up 1.7%. So when Matisse Thybulle's on the court, and I went to Basketball Reference for this. When Matisse was on the court, the chances of the Sixers blocking a shot goes up enormously. And let's look at the steal on off steal percentage. When Matisse Thybulle is on the court for the Sixers, the percentage of the Sixers getting a steal goes up by 2.4%. When Drew Holiday, it only goes up 0.6%. So when you look at the normal stats, when you look at the advanced stats, and if you actually watch Matisse Thybulle defend, he has shown this season that he has been a better defender than Drew Holiday. The only thing that they have tied in as far as all-around stats was steals, which was 1.6.
All right.
And before Corrupt response, Matisse Thybulle also on all these hot, and how does Matisse Thybulle have all these amazing stats with playing on 15 minutes a game? I don't know. I try to figure that out. How does Matisse Thybulle elevate the Sixers block percentage by 5%? Because he's that good. And like I said, the three-point shot is one of the more effective shots in today's game, and Matisse Thybulle has the most blocked three-point shots in the NBA, and that is not even close. That stat is not even close.
All right.
When it comes to on-ball defending and a switch defender, Matisse Thybulle is still getting better at a switch defender. He's already good. And on-ball defense, you might as well just give up, pass the ball if he's one-on-one with most guards.
All right.
The only time I've seen Matisse Thybulle do kind of bad defensively, and he didn't even do bad, is just that he fouled Trae Young, which, let's be real, Trae Young draws a lot of fouls. But other than that, Matisse Thybulle, on-ball defense, his switch defending is getting better, and the stats back me up that this season and overall, he has been a better defender than Drew Holiday.
Okay, so I'm about to just counter-argue everything you just said with this. Your stats that you brought up can be explained by one thing. One thing. Drew Holiday, right? First off, not only does he play with the starters, right? So the on and off thing, right, can be a little bit tricky with stats. And stats are not always tells the entire story. Drew Holiday is playing with the starting lineup, going against the starting lineup. And not only that, he's playing with this is going to be a little bit of a Giannis, praising Giannis. Giannis on the court made the Bucks the best defensive team statistical wise in all of NBA history when he was on the court. Take him off, the Bucks are still good defensively, but not as good. When you add Drew Holiday to that, he is making the defense better by one, right? Around one, right? That is because of that's because they have already a defensive juggernaut like Giannis. Giannis, that's why that's kind of interesting. And I say that because when Matisse Thybulle gets on the court to play defensively, he's playing with the bench. He's playing with the bench. He's not
That's
playing with the
wrong,
bench.
actually, but
That's
we'll go with
wrong?
that.
You sure?
That's wrong. I'll prove it to you. Go ahead, continue.
All right,
That's
I'm just
wrong.
saying that's why
That's why I
I'm
say
just saying why those stats are
that's
misleading. I'm saying that those stats are
okay.
misleading because
Go.
they can play because when 15 minutes per game, I'm guessing he's going off the bench, right? I'm guessing he's going against lesser competition than somebody like a Drew Holiday would go against. And then of course, let me just get into non-facts. I mean, my bad, non-stats, and let's just get
Non-stats.
into what I see with my big green eyeballs.
I can't see that he needs new headphones, but we'll continue.
Drew Holiday had the best defensive performance in, I could argue, almost all of NBA history against the Suns, and one of the best, and had the best play in all of the finals last finals. This man clamped up Devin Booker. What do you mean no? Okay, let me tell you
He
this.
didn't have the best play in all the finals. It was a Giannis block.
No, it was not, bro. Okay, This was the best play, bro. It was Donovan. It was Devin Booker, right? And Devin Booker has the chance, right? Devin Booker has the chance to tie. I think it was either tie this game or get ahead or take the lead. And then Drew Holiday strips him, runs down the court, and lobs it to Giannis. That is the best play in the NBA Finals. It's not the Giannis block. It's not the Giannis block. Come on, stop. That won them the game. That won them the game. That won them the game. But not only that, Drew Holiday is considered the best perimeter defender almost in all the NBA. I know for a fact he's a better clamper than Matisse Thybulle. Know that for a fact. And Drew Holiday, yes, don't look with your bright eyes. Drew Holiday has faced Devin Booker, clamped him up. Faced Donovan Mitchell, has clamped him up in the regular season. He goes against these names and all these kind of stuff. Drew Holiday clamped up Jimmy Butler in the Heat series too. Oh my God. Drew Holiday is clamping up all these stars and NBA all NBA star talent. Who has Matisse Thybulle really proven that he can go that he's
I'm about to
done
tell
that?
you.
Like, has he done that? He has.
I'll tell you.
All right. Drew Holiday has had one of the best defensive performances in all the finals and all the playoffs. Throughout the finals, he clamped up, and then not necessarily clamped up as in like Devin Booker had like 10 points. More like every time when it was time to show up, when they had to get a defensive stop, guess who was the toughest defender and guess who made the best plays defensively? Especially on the perimeter, that was Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday was a key without Drew Holiday's defense, the Suns, this Suns versus Bucks series could be a different story. It could have resulted in the Suns winning without Drew Holiday. That's what Drew Holiday brought to this team, especially defensively. Drew Holiday, let me put it this. Eric Bledsoe, right? He wasn't bad with the Bucks, but they weren't getting anywhere with him. When you added Drew Holiday and his defense, that elevated the Bucks team, and they won the finals. Drew Holiday had big plays against not only Chris Paul, Devin Booker, but also against other opponents in the East, like Jimmy Butler and like Donovan Mitchell, like Drew Holiday. Yes, you can go with the stats, but Drew Holiday made it the toughest to score on. He's like the toughest to score on defender that I've seen right now. Drew Holiday clamps up. I know for a fact he's a better clamper than Matisse Thybulle. And you know that's a fact. Yes, Matisse Thybulle has better blocks, right? That is cool. Let me say this though. He's not playing against Devin Booker for 30 minutes. He's not defending somebody like Trae Young for 30 minutes like Drew Holiday does. He gets his 15 minutes and in a small amount of time, 15 minutes to play defensively, and then he's off the court. Compared to Drew Holiday, who plays all NBA defense for 30 minutes.
So, A couple of points there with Matisse Thybulle. How much do you watch Sixers games? Like, do you say
What's
on
up?
average? Like, it's 80. How much do you actually watch Sixers games?
The 76er games?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've watched a couple. I watched a lot of the Hawks series, so maybe
Obviously.
that's not a good sample of games. I watched that. Um, I've watched a couple throughout the regular season. I didn't watch it religiously like you, but I did watch every game that Spurs played against them. I watched the 76ers play against the Celtics, against the Nets also. I watched a couple of games. I didn't watch like 4 games. I watched like a good like 20 to 30 games of 76ers games. I'll watch it.
So Matisse Thybulle, if and the thing about the 15 minutes a game is because it seems like he's just guarding freaking Eric Bledsoe's or Corey Joseph, bench guys. But when Matisse Thybulle plays, the reason why we throw him in for 15 minutes is because all those 15 minutes we throw him in is when the best team's secondary guard is doing well. When you look at let's look at the Hawks series for example. Matisse Thybulle
Secondary
had
guard.
a
Okay.
fouling issue. Fact, Matisse Thybulle had a fouling issue in the Hawks series, but he played better. And defensive player of the year, Ben Simmons, he
Was that
probably
it's Ben
what?
Simmons. It's Ben Simmons though.
But we talk about defensive player of the year, Ben Simmons, which we will talk about Ben Simmons later because we're not debating it either. We're just going. Anyways, defensive player of the year, Ben Simmons. When he needs a break, Ben Simmons needs a break, and the other team's best guard or second best guard is going off, Matisse Thybulle comes in and he ends all of that. A game against the Phoenix Suns, Sixers Suns. Joel Embiid almost hit the craziest shot of all time, full court.
I'll watch the
Matisse
game.
Matisse Thybulle literally haunted Devin Booker down the whole entire game. Held when Devin Booker was defended by Matisse Thybulle that game, he scored less than 10 points. He was shooting like 30% from the field. And this is Devin Booker, who actually usually does great against the Sixers. But when Matisse Thybulle was on him, he was shooting 30% from the field and only scored 7 points on him. When Matisse Thybulle was off of him, I think he made almost every shot when Matisse Thybulle wasn't on him. So Matisse Thybulle comes in the game for these 15 minutes, and he goes on your best guard or your second best guard or whoever is doing good at the time when Ben Simmons needs a break, and he comes in and does things like he did to Devin Booker. Matisse Thybulle, when we play the Boston Celtics, Ben Simmons has to guard Tatum. Who's guarding Jaylen Brown? And Jaylen Brown has okay games against us, but who's doing a solid job trying to contain Jaylen Brown? That is Matisse Thybulle. And that's when he gets his most minutes is against the Celtics, ironically. When
So okay.
Ben Simmons is injured and we play high-level teams, who is guarding the best guard? That is Matisse Thybulle. And the reason why I bring up the 15-minute thing so much is because Matisse Thybulle has so less minutes, but he's still number one in so many defensive and different defensive stats. It's crazy. How can you be number one and defended 3-point shots for playing 15 minutes? How how does he average a block a game as a guard with only playing 15 minutes? Well, some guards can't do that. And someone said in the chat he gets exposed if he plays more minutes. That's false. I believe that's false because every time he is told to step up and play high level minutes against high level players, he actually rises to the occasion. He actually rises to the occasion. So the fact that if he plays more minutes, we can expose him because someone said it in the chat he rises to the occasion when he does get his more minutes, when we do race him in minutes. So, like I said, and it's tough because I watch Sixers games and I look at it and I probably watch it more than y'all, so that's probably why I'm a little bit more passionate defending Matisse Thybulle. But when it comes down to it, and I was reading the comment in the middle, that's why I stopped there. But when it comes down to it, and Matisse Thybulle with the eye test, put all the stats to the side. His lateral quickness, him being able to chase around the fastest offensive players in the league, That's probably one of his best abilities. His able to close out on 3-point shooters and contest the shot and make them miss is insane. I believe he allows the least amount of 3-point percentage of a lot of guards in the league. A lot of guards, not he's not the best at it, but he allows one of the least 3-point percentages. And like I said, he's in certain situations he's getting thrown into the fire. Like I said, it's been moments where we threw him in against Jaylen Brown. It's been moments where we threw him against these. It's been when Ben Simmons didn't play. We throw him in against guards like Damian Lillard or not Damian. I'm sorry, Trae Young. We have to throw him up against these guards in the Eastern Conference because when Ben Simmons goes down or goes down for what's injury or not, Matisse Thybulle comes in the game against these high level guards and does his thing. And then when he's playing against backups, oh, it's over. It's over. When he's playing against bench guys, that's it. That's it. He's
See,
making them look horrible.
see, that's my biggest thing, right? Because originally you said he goes against their second guard, right?
Well, what I meant to say like they're shooting guards because Ben Simmons is defending the point guard most of the time, so he's going up against their shooting guards, which is
Okay.
the second guard team. But you can continue.
I think you meant like secondary guard. Okay.
No, like that. Yeah. I've worded that wrong.
Here's the problem with saying that, like, saying all of that, right? And then like
Mm-hmm.
the 15-minute thing is tricky because when he comes up for 15 minutes, right? He's all energy. He's full. Like he's got all the energy, all that kind of stuff, right? And yes, while he like I said, he's not a bad defender at all. He's a very good freaking defender, right? So of course, when he's defending somebody for Devin Booker, he's going to do pretty good, right? Because he's just a good defender, right? But my entire
Mm-hmm.
thing is, right? Matisse Thybulle does it for a short period of time in comparison to
Mm-hmm.
somebody like a Drew Holiday who does it for twice the amount of time as Matisse. It's not like Drew
Mm-hmm.
Holiday is having the same results, but he's doing it for longer and he's doing it
Mm-hmm.
as the starter with the starting players. That's the entire thing. Ben Simmons,
Mm-hmm.
this it cannot be true that he's playing against just starters the entire time. He's playing probably most even if it's here's the thing. Drew Holiday's playing against starters most like 90% of the time. Matisse Thybulle is not
Mm-hmm.
playing against starters that much. He's just not.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that's true. He's playing against bench players more so than Drew Holiday would. So that's why his stats can be a little bit more like more and bigger than if it was against, for example, more minutes and against starters for longer periods of time. That's
Let me
why those
ask you a
stats.
question though.
That's why those stats can be a little bit more like weird because he's doing it in such a
But,
short period of time that yes,
but let me ask you this.
he's having the rates of like amazingness, but that's because he's doing it in short
Mm-hmm.
periods of like and all the playing time he has, right? And all the playing time he has, which is not close to what Drew Holiday gets, he's doing good. So of course you're going to have the highest percentages because
But how does he average the most blocks a game as a guard when he has less chances to get blocks?
well he's just I'm not going to lie to you. He's probably he's a better blocker than Drew Holiday is. I'm not going to lie to you. Drew Holiday is not blocker, right? But that's not his
Mm-hmm.
game. His game is not to just block. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't look for that. He's a
Well,
clamper
how are they
and
tied in steals? When you
how's
talk
he
about
tied in?
clamping the perimeter, but T. Stibbles also is even when it comes to steals, and he has less chances to steal the ball
Let's
because
say
he
to steal the
plays
ball.
less.
1.6, right? They both got 1.6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. I'll just go back to this. Drew Holiday is going against star players, right? All the time. All the time. He's going against their best perimeter guy the entire game. Matisse Thybulle just isn't. He just isn't. Not the entire game, he's not. One, he's not going against them the entire game, and two, he's not going against the best player at all times when he's on the court. He's just not. Drew Holiday is doing all of this, right, while being the starter, while playing twice as many minutes than Matisse Thybulle, and he's making some of the biggest plays defensively that a lot of us has ever seen, especially in the playoffs. Especially in the playoffs.
All right. Well, here's my closing argument to this, and then you can give yours. Um, like I said, the reason why I'm debating this so much is because you to understand my point, you probably have to watch more Sixers games. But like I said, it's not like Matisse Thybulle is just getting thrown out there against a guy like Corey Joseph or a guy that's off the bench. Like he's not just thrown up against these guys. When we put him in the game, it's to guard these high level guys. Another point of my closing argument is that, I mean, corrupt. You kind of said you agree with me here that when it comes to blocking shots from the 3 point line, from the mid range, Matisse Thybulle is just everywhere. His hands are just active when it comes to blocking the shot. It is so hard to even shoot the ball against Matisse Thybulle because he's probably gonna block it. When it comes to steals, Matisse Thybulle getting thrown in against these high level offensive players and in the tough situations gets high level steals. I mean, one of his best plays is getting a steal. I think we even see it on the top 10 NBA plays, getting a steal and then doing his nasty dunk. I mean, that's just what he does all the time. And he's done it against good guards. And then, I mean, the stats, they say for themselves, whether you want to say the stats are overlooked by how much time he plays, whatever, that's fine. But when it comes to blocks and steals, Matisse Thybulle is just there, already comparable with Drew Holiday. When it comes to locking down, Matisse Thybulle is just the way he can follow you and just chase you down and block your shot is just amazing. And like I said, the thing I will give Holiday, he does play more minutes, so he does play more minutes against tougher opponents. But I mean, everything is there for me to make a debate for Matisse Thybulle. And my point of this debate, and I've said this numerous of times, I already know that no one in here is going to agree with me, but I just want to prove my point that it is so much closer than everyone is making it out to be, and I want my much respect for Matisse Thybulle. I want his respect. Everything's
No,
there. You can go ahead, turn on the tape, turn on the film, turn on the tape when he is guarding these high level guards, and you see it for yourself. That's my closing argument.
I think that it is. I don't think it's a. I think it's. I think Matisse Thybulle is a very good defender, but I just can't say he's just as good or even better, like you are saying, as Drew Holiday. And I say that because one, Matisse Thybulle is definitely not going against their star player all the time in his 15 minutes that he does play. And two, of course, like all, it's just for the blocks thing. It's just they're just different players, right? They're just different players. Matisse Thybulle is more so to get blocks, right? While Drew Holiday is more of a clamp. He's a clamp guy that he's gonna make you. He's gonna clamp you up, make you pass the ball. He's gonna let. He's gonna. He's just. He just doesn't block shots like that, right? But that is it. That but blocks steals kind of thing is kind of weird because you'd be like, oh, Giannis is a better defender than Ben Simmons because he gets more blocks. And then it's like kind of a weird thing like that because there's certain players that just that's
Mhm.
what they do. They get blocks, right? But compared to others, they're just
Mhm.
clamping. They're just clamping up and making them not score and making them
Mhm.
pass the ball, and they're not getting scored on. Drew Holiday has shown multiple times against star players for more minutes in big
Mhm.
games and finals and, and championship aspiration type of games to clamp up these superstars and stars like Devin Booker and all these and CP3, especially, bro, especially the finals, bro. I cannot say this enough, bro. Did you see what he did? Did you see what he did, bro?
Yes, I
He
watched.
stripped
Yeah, I
Devin
watched
Booker,
all six
lobbed it
games
to
of the
Giannis,
finals.
and won the game, bro.
Yes, I mean,
He
how
won
can
the
you
game,
not
bro.
see that?
Bro, that
I-
it's just I understand like the stats with the stats, yes, that does prove your point. But my entire thing is the stats can be misleading, right? Drew Holiday has to play longer, and
Mhm.
he's always going to go against the best perimeter guy on that team. While Matisse Thybulle is playing less minutes, and he's not always going to go against that star player. He's going to play against the bench guys too. That's where he's going to get all those stats, and that's where his percentages are going to be higher, of course. And earlier you brought up the on
Mhm.
off where he brings better like when he's on the court is like a 4% increase, right?
Mhm.
That's hard to do on the Bucks. when the entire team is made to play good defense, right? The Giannis, when you have Giannis on a team, you're not going to improve that defense like drastically enough, like drastically as well as you would when you're on the 76ers. You're just not. Especially because when he's on the court, guess who's not on the court? Ben Simmons is not on the court when he's on the court, right? You said that. You said that when Ben Simmons in the rest, guess who's going on the court? It is it's what's his face? Matisse Thybulle.
Thybulle.
I just need this. I just need to see him do it around, not like with starting minutes and against and more. I need to see him do it more against star players in big games like Drew Holiday does, in order for me to be like, that is a better defender than Drew Holiday. But I will say this: Matisse Thybulle definitely has the potential to be a better defender. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying right now, Drew Holiday has proven more that he's a better defender than Matisse Thybulle, especially in big moments in huge games.
All right. Well, I see a lot of comments, so let's start off. Matthew Goodman said Lou Dort's better than both of them. Lou Dort, another underrated defender, Oklahoma City Thunder. Good defender. Drew Holiday locked up CP3 and Books. I'm going to take Holiday. Benji takes Holiday. Oh, let's see what else we got here. Holiday's a better defender, but good job debating. All right. I think we need a full 82 games to see what Thybulle is he already. All right, so I can respect that. If you say, all right, you want to see him play more minutes in a full 82 game format, then that's fine. I can accept that.
See, that's kind of the weird thing with this argument, right? You can say you can say that like MG debated better, but here's the thing: everybody already know who Drew Holiday is. Everybody already knows that he's the better defender, right? My entire point is, for right now, Matisse Thybulle isn't, and all MG is doing is building him up and saying why Matisse is a good defender and especially going to be a good one for the future. MG's debating why Matisse could be as good as Drew Holiday, when all I'm doing is I'm on the defense the entire time. All I'm doing is like, yeah, but he hasn't done it for this. He hasn't done it with this like Drew Holiday does, because it's just true. It's just true. And you did a good job explaining why Matisse is a great defender, right? But we just need more experience. We need to watch him more with more minutes. We need to watch him do it with these other star players like Drew Holiday does. He just hasn't done that. He just hasn't done it.
All right. Let's see. Eddie says Draymond's better. I mean, Draymond's former defensive player of the year.
Bro, Draymond Green is the best NBA player ever, dog.
The chat gave their opinion. We gave ours.
All right. Hold on. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get some water. My mouth is dry.
All right. While Kuroko gets some water, let's see. Let's read the chat what we got. Notre Dame versus Cincinnati. Yeah, that should be a good game. Let's see what we got. Benji in the chat. Benji thinks Herbert's better than Aaron Rodgers. Y'all know, and he thinks Herbert's better than Mahomes. Swear to God, this dude right here thinks Herbert's the GOAT. He thinks Herbert's the best quarterback in the league. Thinks Herbert's better than Dak and all that. Benji thinks Herbert's better than everyone. Corrupts.
Oh my God.
All right. Corrupts. All right. This next topic is going to be, honestly, the debate I've been looking forward to. As soon as we brought this one up yesterday, this one right here is the moment that I have been waiting for. You already know what time it is, Corrupts. I'm gonna let you go first for this one. Who are you building your team around, Giannis or Luka?
I'm going to go with Giannis. And now, this is right now. This isn't like for the future. If I'm trying to build a team to win right now, I am taking Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, why would I say that? Luka Doncic is just one of the best players I've ever seen, right, guys? Yes, he is. He's a very good player. But here is just a couple of things Giannis has been able to, do. Giannis, two-time MVP, one-time Defensive Player of the Year,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure the All-Star like 3-4 times, and just won the NBA Finals and Finals MVP. You know, doing it while dropping
Mm-hmm.
like 30 points per game in the playoffs, and of course, playing All NBA defense. Also, that's defense. Oh, isn't that something? Oh, that's right. Luca can't do. Yeah. Luke. Here's the thing. Luca has the potential to be one of the best players, bro. And Luca is definitely the better offensive player. I agree with you on that. But here's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. And here's why I cannot say I'm taking Luca over Giannis. One, Giannis is right there offensively. Right there offensively. Giannis, one, is scoring like 28 points per night. He's right there next to Luca. It's nothing like he's big man, he gets 20 points per game. No. He's getting up there next to 30, like Luca is. Two, his athleticism, his leadership, his big freaking body, bro. That is an amazing thing. I think a great whoa. No homo. Anyways,
The way you said big freaking body, bro. You good over here?
anyways.
This dude said his big freaking body. Yeah.
I think one of the I think one of the best things for championship teams. Shut up! Can you just shut up, bro? Like, honest. Anyways, bro, that's so fucking stupid. Shut up. Uh,
Bro, you stupid, bro.
you stupid. What you mean, bro? I
Corrupts
can't
like
even finish my point without you laughing at me.
2021 his big freaking body. Bro, because the way you said it. But go ahead.
Giannis. If you, it's just Giannis, bro. I don't know. It's just you have to worry about him all the time. You have to worry about him on defense and you have to worry about him on offense, bro. You can't put a good defender on him and just be like, okay, yeah, we're good for Giannis. And you can't do that with Luka either. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Giannis has proven himself especially with this finals run. He won against great competition like the Hawks, like the Nets, and yes, they were injured, but it was still KD and some of James Harden against the Bucks, right? With Giannis, of course. I mean, he was just clear cut the best player on the team. And of course, you bring up the Hawks series, but Trae Young and Giannis were both out at the same time. When they played against each other, both of them played. And then in the finals, he had one of the best finals performances ever. He dropped to 50. He was good in almost every single game in the finals while doing amazing defense. He had two 40-point games and a 50-point game to end the NBA finals. He just has proven himself to be able to lead a team and win a championship. And yes, you'd be like, oh, it's unfair to Luka since he doesn't have the same talent around him, all yada 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 yada, right? But here's the thing about Luka, right? Yes, Luka has been doing amazing, right? He's a better scorer than Giannis. He just is. He's a better shooter, all this kind of stuff, right? But dude, Luka's not good on defense. Giannis is better, but it's not because Luka's just an okay defender and Giannis is this all NBA. No, it's because Luka just can't defend for his life. He's been including I've seen it with the Spurs, DeMar DeRozan hitting a nasty one on Luka Doncic and was it Finney-Smith to win the game. I don't know. It's just the defense is what hurts it for me with Luka too, and also his free throws. And you can be like, wait a minute, Giannis does the same thing though, right? This is an interesting stat, but it's true. In the playoffs this year, Luka Doncic had a lower free throw percentage than Giannis Antetokounmpo. It is true. And guess what? When Giannis needed to do free throws, guess what he did? He made those free throws. Also, another interesting stat. And yes, this can be brought up the point that Luka, yes, he was tired, all this kind of stuff. But bro, in the fourth quarter, you definitely saw a drop off of play. Luka Doncic just doesn't play as well as when he's in the fourth quarter, especially in these playoffs when he did uh, earlier in those games. And yes, that is because his team is not very good compared to Giannis's team, but that is still concerning. In those big games, are you still? I swear to God, if you're still thinking about that big freaking man, I'm big freaking body, I'm gonna be pissed.
No, dude. I just go ahead. I'm about to respond when you're done.
Luka Doncic, that's still worrisome, right? He still doesn't do good. He didn't do good in the fourth quarter, and even in close games, Luka Doncic wasn't Luka Doncic in those fourth quarters when they needed him to be. Guess what Giannis did with the Bucks when they needed him? He was freaking Giannis. Everybody said he couldn't do free throws, and guess what? When he needed to do free throws to win the game, he hit his free throws. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a better defender. He's more athletic, and he's proven and has the experience, unlike Luka does. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I'm taking Giannis Antetokounmpo right now. And may I also add, Giannis did not only win 2 MVPs, but statistically, he had the best season in NBA history. Statistically, he had the best. He's more efficient than Luka. He's the better defender. I don't know how you cannot take Giannis right now over Luka to build a team around. If you're trying to win a
You
championship,
know what my issue is with your debate? You know what my big issue is?
what is?
Is that a lot of your takes are based off of this year's playoffs. Well, if we're just basing everything off of this year's playoff, then Giannis is the greatest player in NBA history. Then give him the crown as the GOAT. And also, too, the reason why I build a team around Luka Doncic is because when I look at both guys and their skill set, Luka's skill set is easier to build around than Giannis's. When you got a guy like Luka, this dude can score from a lot of places. He can shoot
Uh-huh.
the three ball at a high level. He can shoot the mid range. His step back and his sidestep is just crazy. His handles are great, and he can drive and finish at the basket. Um, Luka, he's just all around offensive juggernaut. The dude can score from anywhere, almost anywhere, except for Curry. Obviously, he can't shoot from half court, but he can score for almost anywhere, from the 3-point line to the paint. His playmaking ability is why I think it's so much easier to build around. And when I look at how I would build the team around these guys, I feel like it's harder with Giannis because when you look at Luka, well, what will you have to build around him? A guy who can catch and shoot, because what a lot of things that Luka does, he likes to pass it out to guys who can catch and shoot. With Luka, you put a guy who can catch and shoot. You put a Klay Thompson next to Luka, a guy like that who can catch and shoot, or not even a guy like you could put a Buddy Hield next to him. You could put a good defender with Luka, and he, outside of this playoffs corrupt, he is a better free throw shooter than Giannis. I can win a championship with Luka. I feel like with his skill set, easier than I can with Giannis. And I love Giannis, but why do you think it took the Bucks this long out of playoff collapses to win with Giannis? Remember, you can easily game plan against Giannis because of what? The last 3 years before the finals. The wall you put in front of him, he just stops, and I don't know what to do. Chris Middleton wasn't enough. They tried Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon wasn't enough. They tried Eric Bledsoe. Eric Bledsoe wasn't enough. Then they finally got a guy like Drew Holiday, who finally was the perfect fit for that team. So when I look at both skill sets, it is easier to build around Luka than I can build around Giannis. And when you talk about playmaking, if I'm on these guys' team and I'm an offensive player and I'm on their team, when it comes to playmaking, Luka, as he does sometimes, he in the fourth quarter he forces shots, but other than that, Luka is playmaking wise is so easy to play with because you just know how great of a playmaker he is. The way he sets up guys like Tim Hardaway Jr., the way he set up A guy like Jalen Brunson, who was a very underrated player this year. The way he set up Maxi Kleber, Dorian Finney-Smith, at times when he wanted to be good, Kristaps Porzingis. The way Luka can set up his players, it's just so easy to build around that specific skill set. I just think I take Luka, and I think right now, with what we've seen from Luka, his ability to make big shots in the playoffs. You've seen it against the Clippers. You've seen him make clutch shots in the regular season. Where if it's a 3-point shot or if it's an end of the game situation, well, Luka has a more variety of shots. Where Giannis, he's going to attack. Giannis can't make a game-winning three or a game-winning mid-range jumper. Giannis has to attack with the game on the line. He's attacking. He's looking for contact, and he's looking to put the ball in the hole around the painted area. With Luka, with the game on the line, he can do so many different things. He can pull up for a mid-range shot. He can drive and finish at the basket. He can do a side step three, a step back three, a fadeaway mid-range. Luka's skill set is easier to build around than Giannis. With Giannis, you for years they had a blueprint. It was literally named the Giannis Wall. I mean, for 3 years straight, it was named the Giannis Wall. With Luka, as long as you build a correct team around him that can fit his skill set, there's no wall. There's no formula to stop Luka. With Giannis, there was. And and it's so hard to build a team around Giannis because you're not only building around Giannis, but you have to build around the wall that the defensive of the other team sets up. And that is very difficult to do. With Luka, it's more easier to build around him. So that's why I'm taking Luka.
So, interesting. But a lot of the people that you said that would benefit from Luka being on in their offense is actually kind of the same thing with Giannis. Here's why. You said that Luka, with a catch and shooter guy, right? Or a guy that needs to catch and shoot, right?
Oh, that's a
lot of the
I was bringing up
time
examples.
of examples. Okay, but they can definitely benefit from Giannis being on their team, and I'd say more so. Here's why. Giannis is, if you look at the Bucks, right, the team plays kind of like this. Giannis is going in the middle, right? And if Giannis can't get the basket, guess what he's doing? He's shooting it. He's passing it to one of those threes guys, right? That's why they have the guys who space the floor like Brook Lopez and like his shooters, right? And you mentioned the point of Eric Bledsoe and Drew Holiday, but here's just the facts. And I'm going to include this in Chris Middleton too. Eric Bledsoe and Chris Middleton just did not play well in the playoffs. They were some games they were just horrifically bad in the playoffs compared to Giannis.
And
right?
I'll tell you why.
Tell me why. Because of Giannis? Oh, that's cap. And then you say all this kind of stuff,
right?
No.
Wait, go ahead.
No, I know. It's a joke. Calm down, MG. God damn. God, jeez. And then you say all this kind of stuff. Oh, he can't. If they need to do a three, all this kind of stuff, and the game's on the line, he can't do that. Or if he doesn't need a mid-range. First off, he can hit the mid-range. He's done it before, and I don't know where that came from. He's
with
one of the best.
Game on the line, no.
Yes, that's just cap.
He's gotten better at mid-range, but with the game on the line, we know what Giannis is doing. Corrupt. He's not taking. Giannis is taking a mid-range shot with the game on the line. If you say that he needs to take a two, like a shoot at two, fine. Then I guess I'll go with Luka. But Giannis has shown that he can do that also. That's a dumb argument. And here's another thing, though. You say all of that, but guess what? When you need defense on the line, which was one of the biggest things in this, and you want, why are you bringing up these playoffs? But I can bring up in other playoffs too. And in fact, in almost all playoffs, and guess what? All the championships almost have, bro. Almost every single one. Great defense. And when you hear the saying, MG, defense wins championships. Guess who had multiple defensive stops to help, and one of them was literally to win the game against the Suns in the finals. Giannis. But I'm gonna cut you off real quick. But that's the thing, though, Corrupts. I'm not saying who's the better defender, who's the better player. I'm saying who we build the team around. And yes, you are right. Giannis is the better defender, but it's easier to build around Luka than it is Giannis. But if it was just all on Luka to get a defensive stop, yes, or it's all on Giannis, whatever. That's why I think. But that's why, because Luka, you can easily build a team around Luka than you can Giannis. Because like I said with Giannis, the Bucks not only have to build around Giannis' skill set, but you have to build around the wall. that stop Giannis's skill set. You're not just building around Giannis when you're building a team with him. You had to build a team that can help destroy the wall, who can help separate the wall, who can help distract the wall. With
No.
Luka, there is no wall. There is no defensive formula like that to stop Luka. You're not building around Luka and a defensive scheme. With Giannis, you're building around him. You're building around someone who can stop the wall, which is very difficult to do. And that's why I'm taking Luka, because it's so much easier to build around him. Yes, Giannis is the better defender. Yes, that is 100% true. Yes, Luka is inconsistent at free throws, but when you talk about the degree of difficulty that you have to build around these two guys, I gotta take Luka in that aspect.
The
Because what
entire
you're saying about their skill sets is not wrong. What you're saying is not wrong. But like I said, that's why the question is, who would you build the team around? Because if this debate was who's a better player, you would be right. We wouldn't even be having this conversation. But I think with Luka, it's so easier to build a team around him than it is with Giannis.
isn't the entire point though? Okay, who are you trying to build a team around to win a championship, right? That's the entire
Championship,
point.
yes, and I think
Yes.
it's Luka.
How is it
Yes,
not Giannis though? Like you have to. We're not just talking about okay. Who's it? We're not talking about like okay, who's it easier to build a team around? Who's the easiest to be like? Who's it easier to play
but
with?
that's the
No, we're
question.
talking. No, the question is who would you build a team around to win a championship?
Right,
That's the
yes,
entire
and part
question.
of being
That is
easy to play, part of being, and I said it's easy to build a
Giannis
team
is
around Luka,
definitely
and
easy
being
to play
easy to
with
play
though.
with is no,
He's
but it's
how is
well,
he
it's not
not?
because like I said, you
How?
have to have specific play because you're building.
You
You're
have to
not
have
only building
specific
around
players
him,
for
you're building around a
everything.
wall.
That's dumb argument. That's a
Corrupts,
dumb argument.
corrupts, corrupts,
Dude, you
corrupts.
can literally
Hold
make the
on,
same
but
argument.
no, it's
Here's
not
the thing, bro.
because with Giannis, like I said, with Luka, you are building around him. Strictly Luka, you're not building with Giannis. You're building around a defensive scheme. You have too many problems to worry about. They tried Malcolm Brogdon, they tried Eric Bledsoe, two guards to try to help separate the wall. They tried to
Those
build
aren't
around
good
Giannis, and it
guards,
finally
though. That's the
happened.
thing. You here's
Malcolm
the
Brogdon
thing,
ain't a
bro.
good guard.
Here's the thing.
Malcolm Brogdon
Here's
not a good guard.
here's where I
Malcolm
think
Brogdon
you're
not a
just
good guard. Malcolm Brogdon not a good guard now.
no. Okay, yeah, okay, fine. I get it, bro. But he would. But bro, what? Okay, bro, you're not making any sense right now. You're not making any sense right now, bro. First off, that wall was a one-time thing, right? So you said you kept on saying, "Oh, there's playoffs." So
No,
you
it
keep on bringing
wasn't.
these
No,
playoffs. How is that not a one-time thing?
no, it
That was
was
literally a
not.
one-time thing. The
It
other
was not
times,
a
what?
one-time thing. It happened in the bubble
Bro,
against Miami too. It happened against
that's what I'm
Miami.
talking
Watch the
about.
film.
That's
Watch
what
the
I'm
tape. It
talking
happened
about,
against Miami.
bro. What are
It
you
happened
talking
against
about,
Miami.
bro? Here's
It
the
happened
thing, bro.
against Miami. It happened
Bro,
against
you're
Toronto when you
talking
have a
about no.
quarterback.
No.
It was
Here's
not
what
a
thing. You're talking
one-time
about
thing.
one specific
Everyone.
thing, though. Okay, look. Here's the thing, right? What is the Mavs' biggest problem right now? Tell me, what is the Mavs' biggest problem now? Because it's not like the Bucks,
Porzingis
right?
sucks.
It's not like the Bucks
Porzingis
have like
sucks, and the freaking
yeah. They don't have biggest players right now, right? But here's what they have to here's what they have to think about. They have to get defenders, right? They have to get another like a good shooter, right? And they have to get people who can like big men who can rebound the ball. When you have Giannis, you don't really need to worry about
okay.
that as freaking much, especially defensively. Did you not hear anything I just said before, bro, about how Giannis? This was like a
Yes,
couple
I heard
arguments
what
before
you said,
about how
but
Giannis,
here's what I'm
when he's
saying.
on the floor, he made the Bucks the best defensive team statistically in NBA history. How,
We
so
had you.
how is that not
Yes,
how is that not better than what Luka can do? Like to win a championship, to win a team
like
around,
I said,
to win a team
you
around.
because what I'm saying
Because
is
that
when
defensive
you
scheme that
had
you're
a
talking about didn't
defensive
work this
scheme
year.
like yes, because they brought in Drew Holiday, who and like I said, I don't know why Drew Holiday gets underrated offensively, but you had to get specific players who knows how to break down the wall. Corrupt. It's not just easy. You can't just throw Giannis there and just throw this good guard there and it's gonna work. No, you can't just say, oh, you could just put this around Giannis, because they did that. They had, like I said, bro, they had Malcolm Brogdon, who was a good guard too, better offensively than Drew Holiday, but his skill set wasn't able to break down and help separate the wall. When you look at the defensive wall, you're sending your tallest three defenders in the middle of the paint to stop Giannis from getting ahead of steam. And which means that they're taking away from the corner threes, which means you have to get guys with a specific skill set to break up the wall. The wall has to break so Giannis has a one-on-one matchup driving down the lane. With Luka, you won't have to build around any defensive scheme because when you build around Luka, you never heard of a defensive scheme to stop Luka. Or you do a box and one, you stop Luka. You do 2-3 zone, a man defense. No, you're not doing that. You're building around Luka the player. You're not building around. You're building around Luka, his skill sets. You're building around. Okay, what is Luka's inconsistencies? Defense and free throw shooting. Fine. You put a good defender around him. He can get better himself. Free throw shooting. You can't build around free. You got to get better himself. Free throw shooting. But Giannis has the same issue. You put a good defender around Luka and a decent catch and shooter. And Luka, if he is playing how he is now, the Mavericks will be a contender. When the Bucks are a contender too, but you see how difficult it was for them to build up to that point, and that's what I'm saying. It took them so long to build up until that point. Giannis is what? He's been an All-Star 5 times, so he's been an All-Star for 5 or 6 years now.
Bro.
And if it took them 5 years to finally build a perfect formula with Luka, I bet you if you take a player like Luka, I bet you it'll be easier to build around him than it will be Giannis.
What evidence do you have? Because I have evidence with Giannis. He's won a title. What evidence do you have with Luka? That is the biggest thing that like you keep on saying, oh, if
his team sucks.
If Giannis has won a title and. Yes, you keep on saying it took him 5 years. Oh my God, 5 years is not a long time, bro. He's not a long time. In fact, Giannis has all these records, and he's like the youngest player to do it, bro. He's like one of the youngest players to do it. He did it before Michael Jordan and freaking before. It took LeBron James so long to win a championship, bro. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. That's when you come on going like, oh, it took 5 years for the Bucks. How is that a bad thing? Like, how is that a bad thing? When he has to go against teams. Like when there's super teams like the Warriors and the Nets and all this kind of stuff, taking 5 years to win a title, that's not a bad thing at all. He's one of the youngest players to do what he's done, right? That doesn't make any sense. With Luka, you're doing it based all on assumptions. You're saying, oh, if Luka had this,
I have.
What evidence do you have, though? He has not had those guys to be like.
Because we're saying right now, correct?
Yes, and Giannis.
Right now, who are you?
And Giannis is more. Giannis is more proven,
evidence.
And his system is more proven to work.
That's not the question. Is not who's more proven. That's not the question. The question is, I'm talking
about his entire team scheme. I'm talking about everything like that. His team, it's proven to work. It's proven to work by this year.
It was so hard to build that. It was, you know how hard it was to build that? It's easier to build
any NBA championship team unless you're LeBron. What?
Obviously, the sky is blue. Obviously, it's built a team.
I'm not saying that. You saying that doesn't make any sense because it's like, okay, bro, if Luka had this, then he's winning it. That doesn't make any sense. Giannis has shown that he can win it with the team around him, right? Luka has not shown that. So if I'm trying to win an NBA title, I'm going with the guy that I know can win with this certain scheme, with this certain team right now, right?
Exactly. We know Luka can. We know with Luka's skill set, he can win with a certain scheme. It's just that the Mavs haven't done it. The Mavs have not done it yet.
Exactly. That's the point.
They just haven't. They haven't put their brain.
That is the point.
Okay, and that's the Mavericks' fault. That's not Luka's fault.
That is the entire point, dog.
Because the entire point is stupid. They're not building around. They're not. What's the point?
That's the point is, bro. You're saying, bro. If Luka had this guys, then they might be protect. Like, oh my God.
Because it's true. When you look at his skill set, it is true. When you look at his skill set, all the guys that I've brought up, it's true. A formula to win a championship with Luka Doncic is the format that I set up. And the format I set up is easier to build around.
It's never been proven. It hasn't been proven yet.
Because when you look at the history of the NBA, when you look at all of Luka's strengths and all of Luka's weaknesses, when you look at other players with similar strengths and weaknesses, when you build the type of teams that I said that you can build, that is a formula for success in the NBA. Will you have a good scorer? Let's use a guy. Please don't twist my words because I'm not comparing them. But will you have a guy let's say like a Steph Curry or James Harden, great offensive players. Steph Curry's a better free throw shooter. Steph Curry doesn't have the free throw shooting inconsistencies. Let's say a great offensive player like that. You got you build a defensive team around him. You build a catcher. You got a catch and shoot guy with Klay Thompson. You got a defensive guy with Draymond Green. With the way Steph
Giannis is
Curry
winning
shoots
the
the
exact
ball,
same team.
facilitates the way Luka shoots the ball and facilitates in high leverage moments, that is a formula for success. So when you look at Luka's skill set and you put those pieces around him, that is a formula for success. It has worked for so many great offensive players with the facilitating skills of Luka Doncic. That is the evidence. Because with his skill set, you can win with Luka's skill set, and you can with Giannis too. But what I'm saying is it's more difficult to build a team around Giannis. I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm not saying that he hasn't proven that. But it is more difficult to. And if I'm building a team, I want an easier task. I don't want a difficult task. I want an easier task. And Luka presents to me the easier task to build around.
Look. Let's do it in this way. Because I just totally disagree with everything you just said. Let's look at it this way, right? I don't know.
Okay.
Luka Doncic is the point guard, right? He's your point guard of the team, I'm guessing. And then you have Klay Thompson.
Yes.
I want to do this. I want to do this, right? So you have Luka. I don't know, fucking Klay Thompson. Then, what big man would we put in there? We have Draymond Green as this power forward.
Draymond Green's a powerful. It doesn't matter who you put as the big man at that. Just put a okay rebounder there at that point.
An okay rebound. Okay.
Okay, you put like Jared Allen. Put Jared Allen there.
Jared Allen in there. Okay. Okay. So you're telling me that let's replace Luka with fucking I don't know, like fucking DeJounte Murray.
What you want, a ball dominant guard who can facilitate? What you want, DeJounte Murray? Okay.
Yeah, fine. It's because I don't know, you have to replace him. Then you're still having Klay Thompson, right? Because we're changing Luka Doncic and Giannis. We're not trying to give Giannis a fucking all NBA kind of guy, right? And then of course, you're on Green, Giannis, whatever, bro, right? How is let me say this. What is the biggest problem with that team right now? With Luka Doncic? I'd argue it'd be size.
With the Luka team? Yes,
it'd easily be size.
You put Jared Allen there.
Oh, Jared Allen.
But size doesn't matter. In this day and age, the NBA's changed. A lot of teams are running small ball now. So I mean, and we have Jared Allen, who's 7 foot. Draymond is a shorter power forward, but he's already proven that you can win with a power forward of that size. So I don't see size as a big of an issue as it's made out to be.
So, but I don't understand that point, because besides the Warriors, and that's because they had 4 freaking superstars, almost every single team, championship team, had a great big man. Giannis had a great defensive big man, right? Or multiple.
I mean, he is
the
defensive big man.
The Raptors had Gasol and Serge Ibaka, right? And then the Lakers have superstar Anthony Davis, Giannis with the Bucks, Tim Duncan with the Spurs.
Okay.
You can put in Chris Bosh with the Heat. And then of course you go with all the Hakeem, right? With all these kind of guys, right? And another, yes, you put in Klay Thompson, and then you put in Draymond Green, right? But I'm gonna put Jared Allen on the same team first of all, because Giannis plays the power forward, right? And it's like, okay, bro. How is that team? First off, that team is better defensively than the other team. With Giannis, you don't have to worry about defense as much as you do with Luka. That's just true. And also, you don't have to worry about big men as much as you do if you have to build around Luka. Yes, Luka is amazing, all this kind of stuff, right? But here's another thing: he's the primary ball handler, right? He tends to force the shot a lot.
Yes.
And if I'm trying to win a team around somebody, right? It is. I think it's easier because you don't have to worry about certain things that you have to worry about with Luka. With Luka, you have to be like, okay, we need defensive guy here and here, and it's going to be harder to find those guys than it is with Giannis. With Giannis, I was going to say Giannis in the Bucks. With Giannis, yes, you need shooters, Yes, you do need shooters, right? But that's not a hard thing to find in this NBA. So that's easy too. You can find a big who can space, right? And then another a wing or a guard who can freaking shoot the ball well, right? And then you have a championship contending team with Giannis. This man, you said every year he collapsed in the playoffs, right? But guess what? Guess what? He's faced the bubble, faced the guy who went to the finals. The team went to the finals. The year before that, faced the team who won everything, the championship, which was the Raptors, right? They're and Luka Doncic has not faced the competition, so I don't know if like
Bro,
you
he faces the West.
you're not making any
He
sense,
faces
right?
the
Because
West. The what?
okay, yeah,
If you're
fine.
bringing up
It's
level of competition, Luca faces the West. Yeah,
okay,
you
yeah,
can't
fine.
bring up level of competition here. I
Okay,
mean, Luca literally faces the West. If Luca was in the East, they'd probably be a fifth seed probably, but they're seventh or eighth seed
okay.
because they're
Question.
Luca. If you're bringing up level of competition, that's not a conversation here.
No, but no. I want a question though. Switch the players. Switch the teams.
Hmm.
Just the teams. Just the teams. Switch the Bucks and the Mavs.
Hmm.
You don't think the Bucks are winning the championship?
Hmm.
You don't think the Bucks are winning the championship
If I
this
switch the
year?
Bucks, wait, what am I switching the Bucks and the Mavs for? Like, who am I
Just
switching out?
conferences.
Oh, if the Bucks go to the West.
Yes, they're still winning the title this year.
Well, this
It
year,
doesn't matter.
while you're bringing up a year with all these injuries, fully healthy, no, the Bucks aren't winning the title. And fully healthy on the East, the Bucks. If the Nets are fully healthy, the Bucks aren't winning the title on the East either. So you're bringing up a year with riddled with injuries, so it's not helping your point. You're bringing a year with
And then
they're
the year
fully
before
healthy.
that,
He's not winning on
and,
the West. Fully healthy, he's not winning on the East.
and then with the wall thing, you can, not the wall thing, my bad. And then with the bubble thing, I can just say the same thing for the bubble with Giannis, though. But I can just be like, oh yeah, Giannis didn't play good
He
because of
was
the bubble,
hurt.
or yeah, he was hurt. He was hurt. He was
Okay,
hurt. Like, I can say the same thing. You can't just throw out the asterisks and ifs. Like you a lot of these are based off of
but
assumptions, man. Well, Giannis has proven, and I don't even understand how you say it's not as easy to do with Giannis when it is with Luka. When like he
because
brings more to the table, therefore you don't have to worry about as much as with Luka. You have to worry about Luka. You have to worry about Luka's defense. You have to be like, okay, we need to find defenders. Like we need to find defenders. With Giannis, you don't need all these great defenders on the team, even though they did have great defenders on the team.
okay,
Giannis,
okay, but we can say the same thing with Giannis. You
okay,
need to
okay.
find 3-point shooters, but you don't have to worry about that with Luca because Luca can shoot the ball at a high level. Luke, like it's we're playing we're just going back and forth saying the same thing eventually here. I just want my point to be heard that with
Okay,
Luca's
then
skill set,
if
it is
if we're
easier
saying the
to
same
build
thing,
around than with
then
Giannis's skill set.
if we're saying the same thing, then I would win because Giannis is a better player than Luka. Because if it balances out, right? If you don't need as much defense with Giannis, if you
But
don't need as much shooters with Luka, then I can just be like, okay, then Giannis is just the better player. He has the experience, he has the accolades, he has
but
everything to
just
prove that he's
because
a better
someone's a
player
better
than Luka.
player doesn't mean they're easier to build around. Just because you're
If
the
he's
better
not
player doesn't
if
mean
he's
you're
not
easier
easier
to
to
build
build around,
around.
then how
That's
did he
just
win a championship? That's the thing. How did he win a championship if he was easier to build around?
what you want to know how he won a championship, and I hate asterisks, but he won a championship because, and I'm gonna be that guy today. He won a championship because the Nets were injured. He won a
Okay.
championship because the Lakers were hurt. If you want, because you want me to be that guy, you truly want me to be that guy. And I love what the Bucks did this year. I love what Giannis did, but you keep, and yes, they deserve the championship. I don't want to take it away from them, but you truly want me to tell you how they won because the Nets weren't fully healthy. Harden was playing on a hamstring injury. Kyrie wasn't there. The Lakers weren't there to compete in the West. That's what if you want me to be honest, because I'll give time. You keep asking me this. Look,
Oh,
if you
I
want me
can
to be
say that
that guy
about, but
today,
that's the entire thing. But you can say that about almost every single one besides what the Mavericks, which is we will bring up the Mavericks later. But the 2011 Mavericks, I mean. But bro, you
yeah, the
can say that almost
2011
about every
Mavericks.
single one though. You can be like, oh, Kobe got injured. Oh, freaking bubble. Oh, this. If KD
But
never went
it's
there,
different. It's different scenarios
this.
but it's different scenarios because look, it's in the bubble year. That's also a year with a big asterisk, but we know for a fact. Come on, dude. We know if the Nets were healthy, they were already up 2-0 in the series when they had Kyrie Irving healthy. we know for a fact if the Nets are healthy, they are the better team than the Bucks. Let's go to a year that the Warriors won. Because you can say that about every year except for the 2011 one. The Warriors, the way they built their team, no matter what happened with LeBron, there was no asterisks around the Warriors title. It's just that they had a good team. They built a good team. And that's the conversation. You build a good team, you win titles. With Giannis, it is a clear, and like I said, bro, I don't want to be that guy, but we know for, I don't want to say a fact because at the end of the day, it didn't happen, but we can almost come up with the point that if the Nets were healthy, they win the title. And
Okay, fine.
that is a bigger asterisk than it would be the Warriors or some other team or whatever.
Okay, fine. But let me say this then. Do you think that
Hmm.
I'm okay? It's Luka Doncic, right?
Hmm.
And then his shooting guard to his center are decent players, right? They're all the same
Hmm.
players. Same thing as Giannis. Besides, of course, Giannis is the power forward, and he has same players, right? The exact same
Hmm.
players besides the point guard and power forward switch, right?
So just decent players.
Yeah, just decent players. Who do you think has the better chance of winning it all? Because like I think that Giannis does more for his team than Luka does. Therefore, it is easier to win with him.
So you give Luca with a bunch you so you well because Luca his team's a bunch of average teams. So if you give Luca with an average team and Giannis with an average team,
Yes.
they both finish around the same. They both be like a freaking the
But
same run team. Luca will probably finish with a less record because they're in the Western Conference with more stacked
same
teams.
conference.
Same conference. I don't know. They'd be that'd be like a game apart. It'd be close. That
Okay.
yeah,
Um,
that's close.
Let me just say that Luca. Okay, and that's the biggest thing about this, right? A lot of this is just based on assumptions and ifs and all this kind of stuff, right?
I mean, that's
And
a
that's
lot of
why,
NBA debates.
yeah, that's a lot of NBA debates, right? Kind of. Um,
Depends on the debate, but yeah.
but here's just the thing, right? Here's just the thing that I
What's
think
the
is
thing?
true. Giannis brings both good offense and defense, and he's just he is the better player, right? And I think that his athleticism and let me say this, and I think that Luca's mm, desire to tend to force some shots and or get a little bit more angry, get more texts than Giannis does. I think that will go against Luca, and I think that Giannis, who has the experience, who has all these accolades already, and who can and not only is good offensively because he's just good offensively. Honestly, the only bad thing you can really say about Giannis is that he just can't shoot, right? And he brings that defense. I don't understand how if you look at that, you go like, okay, Luca has certain problems that you need to fix. He needs to fix with free throws, and of course Giannis does too. But I literally just said Giannis's problem is shooting. That's shooting. Giannis has one problem he needs to fix, which is shooting. You can easily attend to that. I think Luca,
Whoa.
not easily. Come on, there's a bunch of good shooters. Yada yada yada. I think that with Luca, you need to do more for your team than you would have to if it was with Giannis, because not only do you need to worry about getting big men, you need to worry about getting big men who can defend a little bit. You need to worry about
Which
yes, that's true. Because if you're going against somebody like Giannis, you're not going to be able to defend him without good big men. You're just not.
well,
This is
go ahead.
this thing, right? You need like that's why I'm picking Giannis because he's so big, like you can't stop him in the paint.
Right.
You,
I
you
mean,
can't
that's
stop
every
him from
big man.
driving. That is why that you can't you almost can't stop him from driving at all either.
But
That's
Luca, you
why.
can't stop him from almost everywhere unless you foul him on purpose and put him at the free throw line.
But here's the thing though, like, but Giannis is just made more like he's more efficient though. That's the thing. Even on the inside, Luka's not making more than
Well,
Giannis.
obviously, because
That's the
Giannis is
thing.
not taking the shots that Luca is taking. Obviously, he's going to be more efficient.
Because yeah, guess what? He has the shooters that does that job for him, and when he does his thing, it's a good thing, right? With Luka,
Right.
you have to worry about both defense, getting big men, it can rebound too. That's the big problem for the Mavs, getting rebounds. And Luka also can't do all the scoring by himself, right?
Giannis can't do that score by himself
That's why you
either.
have shooters.
Exactly. That's
Shooters
why
are
you have shooters
scoring.
throughout both of them. So we're exactly.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You have to do whatever.
With Luca, you have to get less offensive skill than you do Giannis. You you
Yeah,
have
but
to because
you have to get way more defensive skill to
and
counter that.
Giannis, you have to
Because
get way more offensive skill. But
not
the
way
reason
more,
why,
not way
so we're
more,
saying
not way more. That's cap.
you have to
Okay.
get
I'm tired of
Luca
this
can
because Drew Holiday did not play good defense this year.
I
Offense this year. He just
okay.
did. Chris Middleton was the only great offensive player besides Giannis this year, and you know that's true. Yeah,
And Luca, no
Drew
one else
Holiday.
is great for Luca this year.
Drew Holiday. Well, yeah, that's true. But what you're saying is that they need to compensate. They need to get Giannis all of these offensive weapons. Is just not true. It's just not true because the only other great offensive player the Bucks had was Chris Middleton. Drew Holiday did not play good offense this year, and I'm sorry. Yeah, he did average. I'm sorry, but he just did. He did it. He did not do good efficiently. He had low inefficient scoring, and he did it on average points per game. He's just not as good as Chris Middleton is. And then of course you have Brook Lopez, who's just a good all-around center, and yes, he spaces the floor. But that's what I'm saying though. You don't need to get as much offensive talent like with Giannis. So that point you're making, it's just false. It is proven this year, dude. It's proven this year. Chris Middleton, yes, they needed that Chris Middleton guy to help them win. But besides that, they don't have any other offensive, like great offensive guys. Giannis
But
Giannis is scoring 30 points a game also. That's the thing. All you have to do is surround Giannis with some good shooters, and then you're
because you
contenders.
the problem that you're not understanding, and when you like I said, they have always had solid offensive players around Giannis, but that goes back to my point with the wall, and this goes down to the X's and O's. You have to get players that have the ability to stretch out the wall. That is not easy to find because they weren't respecting these guys who were on the offensive team, who were on Giannis's team. Giannis. Let's be real. Giannis has had the same team as just Drew Holiday's there now, and what's up?
Isn't that why isn't that like doesn't that support him?
No, because look how hard it is to find a guy to break. Like I said, bro, do you understand how the wall works, right? You understand how
Yes,
the defensive wall works,
you said it was
right?
like 3 defensive guys in the
Yeah,
right?
you had them basically. You just basically just have your 3 longest guys just wall. Just make sure he doesn't get in this damn paint. Just the Great Wall of China.
Okay.
It is harder to find people to be able to break that wall. In order to stop defensive teams from breaking that wall, you have to get players with great shooting ability, great playmaking ability, or at least playmaking, at least okay or decent, basically better than Malcolm Brogdon and Eric Bledsoe playmaking ability. You have to have decent playmaking ability, and you have to have a good mid range. And you have to have a lot in order to break down the wall. Because if you don't have that, if you just have a good shooter, you're still gonna shut the wall because you don't have a good playmaker, or you don't have a good stretch big, or you don't have the good this. With the Bucks, it goes down to the X's and O's on how they have to build their team because they have to have Brook Lopez, they have to have Drew Holiday, they have to have Chris Middleton, they have to have Dante DiVincenzo, they had to have a guy like Pt.2. If you miss one of those, you take one of those things off the team, that brings an extra guy on Giannis, and now the wall starts forming again. That's what I'm saying. You need every single thing you can get offensively to help out Giannis. I'm not saying, and I'm not saying that Giannis, or I'm not saying Giannis isn't good. I'm not saying Giannis can't score. The reason why you need so much offensive talent with Giannis because you need all of that to break down that wall. Because the less offensive talent you have, one less offensive talent you have, extra defender comes on the Giannis. You start the wall. You take off another one. Now you got 3 guys on Giannis. Now it's a wall. Now it's just you ain't going nowhere.
You're
You
acting
ain't
like
going
that.
nowhere, buddy.
You're acting like that wall is that's just the key to winning. Like if you have that wall, you're automatically winning against the Bucks. You're just
No,
not though. You're just not though.
you're
And
not.
yes,
Well,
it is
with the
proven.
team he
It
has
is
right now, it's not because they built a perfect team around that. But I'm saying, look
exactly
how hard it was to build that. Where
okay.
Luca, you don't have to build around another defensive scheme. You don't have to worry about a wall with Luca. And the reason why, too, I want to get this narrative just destroyed. The reason why Luca forces shots is because you really want Luca to pass to Porzingis in the clutch. You really want Luca to not take his shots in the fourth quarter. I mean, I'm sorry, but the Luca forces shots thing, he has to do that because the rest of his team right now, Porzingis, who's supposed to be his Robin, his superstar big man, he ain't it right now. Tim Hardaway Jr., the second best player. That's that statistically. That come on, dude. Like, so that's the reason why Luca forces shot. I just wanted to say that real quick before you go to your point because that's narrative stupid.
But I don't know. I just think the wall thing is just an overrated like used thing. Like I don't know. It's just yes, it was used. It was good and used effectively. But here's the thing though. Here's the biggest difference between those 2 years. Giannis from from last year to this year was just is just a better player. Giannis was just played better. And then you can say that Giannis just in those playoffs, right? There's times where Giannis just didn't show up. Also, then you get
Hmm.
to this year, Giannis is doing is this is the best thing that Giannis has done. And of course,
You know
what?
why?
And of course, his
Hmm.
players started to play better. But that's the thing. Every player needs that. Every
Yeah,
player needs that. So
but
it's like
Giannis,
I don't understand. It's kind of like this. It's like Luca doesn't need just this and this. He's winning it. No, he needs a specific team too. I understand the point of
but and what his specifics he needs is easier to get with than what Giannis because like I say Giannis you need everything has to be going right for the Bucks. With the Mavericks, let's say we go back to the team. We had Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Jared Allen. Draymond Green can have an off night offensively, but they Mavericks still win the series. Or he can Draymond Green have an off night. With the Bucks, no one can be off when it comes to the wall thing. And every time Drew Holiday has not stepped up or Chris Middleton has not stepped up, they lost the game in the series. When you look at the games that they lost in the first two games, Drew Holiday didn't step up offensively in the first two games. Only Chris Middleton was really the only good player outside of Giannis in the first two games. And you see what happened. They lost. Then Drew Holiday started stepping up more and more offensively. You've seen his points per game got up from games 4 to game 6. That's because when you have such a defensive scheme specifically built for Giannis, everyone has to be clicking. Every time that something is not doing well, they lose. Look at the next series. Drew Holiday didn't do good the first two games. The Bucks went down 0-2. Drew Holiday started doing good. Then look, oh my God, look at the Bucks. Look at Drew Holiday. Look, now Giannis is not getting
more so
triple
Chris
team. Now
Middleton.
he's
Yeah.
not getting walled off. Because and when Drew Holiday and like I said, all it takes is for one person on the Bucks to not do their job. You got an extra defender at Giannis. Why did Giannis win this year? Outside of all the asterisks thing, is because when everything around him performed, now he has a one-on-one, and no one's stopping Giannis one-on-one. We can all agree, no one's stopping Giannis one-on-one. But that's the thing; it's hard for him to get the one-on-one matchup when every player around him is not doing well. And with Luca, like I said, you could have a Draymond Green next to him. Draymond Green can have an off series on the offensive side of the ball. He can have a decent series on the defensive side of the ball, and the Mavericks still win that series. Because Luca, you don't have to worry about another whole scheme to build around. You're just building around Luca. You're not building around who's has the ability to stop the wall. You're with Giannis. You're building out. All right, what player can I get to stop this guy from double teaming Giannis? From this guy to stop double teaming Giannis. All right, I got to get that specific skill. With Luca, you just get this guy, this guy, this guy. Boom. Now go out there, Luca. Now it's all on him. What Giannis is, let me find this guy. Up, no, this guy has to do this. Up, we got to find this guy. Up, no, actually, we got to get the. You have to have a lot of things with Luca. I'm telling you, you put and if let's say Kawhi, the Kawhi to the Mavericks years or two, you put Kawhi, and you get you get Kawhi and Andre Drummond on the Mavericks. Gee, they really competing with the Lakers. You get a good defender like Kawhi. You don't even have to get offensive Kawhi. You just get Kawhi to play decent decent Kawhi defense. And dude, you don't even need Kawhi to do. You just need Kawhi to be okay offensively, and that's the thing. You can have that luxury with Luca. With Giannis, everything has to be at 100% of the time, or you can't win. You can't win big games if everything is not clicking right, and it showed.
All right, so I think we both made our points.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now, well, we gonna be talking the Mavericks more. So
are we?
now,
Oh yeah.
yeah. But Hayden says he's going Luca. Uh, Josh says he's going with Luca. Gio says Giannis is more dominant, but Luca is smarter. Um, Karan said you can't win by yourself. I don't know. Well, yeah, obviously you can't win by yourself. I think we both can agree on that. Can't win by yourself. Okay, Giannis won the title, but would he come out the West? Would he win come out the West?
This year, yeah,
I
I
don't
think he
think
would.
so. I
This
mean,
year he
this
would.
year it was
Because yeah, this
yeah.
year he would. I mean,
Luca gonna
I don't
set
know
you up
what team,
better.
I don't know what team in the West this year is beating the Nuggets. I mean,
Yeah,
beating the
this
Bucks.
year's honestly, bro. As much as the West was advertised, and I know injuries and stuff, and I brought up the asterisk, but the West was a little disappointed this
Yeah,
past season.
no,
But
the
we have
Bucks would have
hated in here.
been the Bucks beat the best team out of the West, which was the Suns.
I'm gonna say yeah, the Bucks. Yeah, they would
Yeah,
have beaten the Suns because they beat the team that made the championship out the West. But they would have won in the West this year. But any other year, probably not. Now, this debate, I don't. Obviously, last debate was intense. This one, we'll see what happens here. But corrupts. In your opinion, what was the hardest championship to win ever?
um, there's not really like a specific. You go first. What's your answer? I went first last time.
See, this is hard. All right, you got the 3-1 comeback with LeBron and them. You got the 2011 NBA Finals where Dirk had to go through he had to go through a lot of teams. He had to be if correct me if I'm wrong, he had to go through the Lakers. He had to
Portland.
go through Portland and OKC. That was when they had
Yes.
KD, James Harden, Westbrook. Well, LeBron, he went through an easier road to the finals, but when he got there, the finals was so hard. But I'm gonna say the hardest championship to win is the 2011 NBA Finals. And the reason I say that's more difficult than the 3-1 comeback with LeBron James is because yes, coming down 3-1 is tough odds, but what Dirk had to go through, he had to go through KD and you had to go Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. James Harden was he was
It
okay.
was
He
not James
wasn't
Harden.
obviously the James Harden he is today. He was more of like a sixth man, like a more of a spark, like a Lou Williams type of role, I guess, if you want to say in that sense, or however you want to view James Harden. He wasn't the guy, obviously. He wasn't James Harden of now. You had KD, who was obviously a monster. Didn't he win MVP around that year? I don't know, but you had KD, and then you had Russell Westbrook, who was a great young point guard at that time. He beat them. You go to Portland. That was the LaMarcus Aldridge Portland-led team, I believe. Solid team, not the best. And then you had to go through the Spurs. No, you had to go through the Lakers. You had to go through Kobe. You had
No,
to
they
go
went against the
through the
Lakers the
defending
second round.
champ. I got the rounds mixed up, but you had to go through the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers, which is interesting. So you beat the defending champs. You beat which was supposed to be the future big three, as corrupt I think lagged out, and then you beat in the finals. You beat LeBron, you beat Chris Bosh, and you beat Dwayne Wade. And almost every series, you can argue that the Mavericks were not the favorites. And the reason why, as I'm at corrupt back in here, the reason why I say the Mavericks is because the degree of difficulty that Dirk had to deal with. You had to deal with the defending champion Lakers and the Big Three Miami Heat. And Dirk Nowitzki did not have a second All Star on that team. With the 3-1 comeback, which I guess is what a lot of people are saying in the chat, you had at least Kyrie. You had a second All Star in Kyrie Irving. You had Kevin Love, who was a borderline All Star. With Dirk and the Mavericks in 2011, they didn't have a second All Star, and they still beat Kobe and the defending champs. They still beat the Big Three in Miami with Wade, Bosh, with LeBron James. What Dirk had to go through, I think people need to understand how difficult that was. Without and with a championship team, you usually most championship teams you at least have another All Star, right? You at least have another All Star. Dirk didn't even have another All Star. Like I said, and unless Tyson Chandler might have been an All Star, I don't know. But from my knowledge, he did not have another All Star, and I don't think Tyson Chandler was an All Star that year. So, 2011 championship without a second All Star, had to go through the Big Three, one of the best teams built of all time. Had to go through the defending champion Lakers. Give me the 2011 NBA Finals of the Dallas Mavericks. It's the hardest title to win.
So I was originally
Mm-hmm.
going to agree with you, but then I thought about like the points you're making.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. After thinking about it, I think I might have to go with the Cavaliers 2016. And I
Okay.
say that because some of the points you made were just not entirely correct. And yes, although the Mavericks didn't have another All-Star,
Mm-hmm.
look, Jason Terry outplayed LeBron James that series. LeBron James
But
just didn't play good. Yeah,
that's what I'm
and I
saying. Look how hard he had to work for that to outplay LeBron James.
no. You're not understanding. LeBron James
Mm-hmm.
played down to Jason Terry's level. Jason Terry didn't go up to 28 points. No.
No, he didn't do that, but he played good. He had a good series. Shout out to Jason Terry.
Jason Terry played better than LeBron James, not Jason Tate.
Not yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm
You
just
understand, all right?
but
Here's another
Jason
thing,
Terry had a decent series.
and here's the Cavaliers. By the way, in that finals, before I say what I'm gonna say, Kevin
Mm-hmm.
Love was one either not good or two injured in that finals. I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
that right now. Not in that specific
Okay.
finals. We're talking about finals, Wayne. He
Finals.
was
Yep.
not good. Kyrie Irving was really good,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, the East was easier, of course.
Right.
But the Cavaliers, LeBron James, had to face the best team record-wise in NBA history, down 3-1, which was never ever done before
Mm-hmm.
in the finals. And LeBron James not only didn't have Kevin Love, because Kevin Love was injured, and then Kevin Love
Mm-hmm.
when he came back didn't play good, right? LeBron James had arguably one of the best finals blocks ever on Iguodala, and of course,
Hey, with the fake universe on the line. Go ahead.
sorry, and then of course Kyrie Irving had that amazing shot over Curry.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Draymond was I think he was suspended or hurt
He
for
was
one
suspended.
game, for
He
one
got
game
suspended.
or 2 games.
2
But
game.
Draymond Green still played in that series at the end. In the end,
Mm-hmm.
and to play against the best shooter in the world, to play against one of the best teams ever created, I think that it was tougher than the Dirk Nowitzki. Because here's the thing: it's not like the Warriors didn't. With the Miami Heat, yes, they played good, but LeBron James wasn't playing like LeBron James. You understand
But
what I'm
they still
saying?
had 2 other All Stars against
Yeah,
Dirk,
but
who had
like,
no other All Stars. Like
yeah, but
LeBron
like,
James, Dwayne Wade. If let's say LeBron isn't on that team, the Heat with Dwayne Wade and Chris Paul are probably still a better team than that Mavericks team all around.
I think you're severely underrating.
Jason Terry and Tyson
I think
Chandler. Yeah, I'm underrating
no, I
those
think you're
guys.
underrating the Mavericks a little bit. He does have good. I don't know
You could
about that,
argue
bro.
that Dwayne Wade,
Obviously
Chris Paul.
not. Honestly,
Right.
obviously not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Like that Heat team was not better than the Warriors team. You know what I mean? It just
No, it
wasn't,
wasn't 100%.
right? And
But
like with
that
LeBron
Warriors
James not
team,
playing as good, Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. Like, okay, look, yes, it was a tougher series to get through in the West. Can we both
Hmm.
agree that the finals itself, it was harder for the Cavs to win? Can we both
But
agree
it
with that?
was harder for the Mavericks to get there, and it was still difficult for them to win. It wasn't as difficult, but it was still difficult in what they had
Question:
to do to get there. What's up?
wasn't that the series where
Hmm.
the Celtics almost beat them to 7? They went to Game 7. I'm pretty sure that was because that was before Kyrie Irving went there. That was a tough matchup. That was a tough matchup. And
Oh,
yes,
you talking about? Oh, I thought you were talking about the Heat in the Celtics 2011. You talking about the Cavs and the Celtics when
Cavs and the
they had
Celtics.
Terry Rozier, Avery Bradley.
Yeah, but guess what? Guess what though? It was a 7 game series. And actually no,
No, that wasn't the year. That was
wasn't
the
the
year they
year.
won the
You
final.
sure?
No. Different. You talking about different year? You talking the year the Cavs went to the finals? They beat the Raptors. Remember the whole
They they
LeBron?
they beat they
Yeah,
beat the Raptors in the semifinal in the semi
yeah. But
Eastern
I
Finals.
think the year you're talking about, because
I can look it up
I,
right now.
I can't. Yeah, because I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the year where Terry Rozier was what, scary Terry. Jason Tatum dunked on LeBron or something like that. You're talking about that series. I don't think that was the year that, because Jason Tatum wasn't in the league when LeBron won the finals.
Yeah, he was a rookie, I think. He was like,
Jason Tatum was in the league at 2016,
no,
because the
was that 20? Oh, oh
26
my God. Yeah, you're right.
2016 was the year they
Okay,
won the
my bad.
finals, and Jason
My
Tatum
bad.
came in at
Yeah,
2017, I
you're right.
think.
You're right. 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 You're right.
Hmm. The hardest championship to win is the
Geo,
bubble, says
shut up,
Gio.
bro. Shut up.
Shut up, bro.
Shut up.
Shut up.
I hate you.
Just shut up.
Shut up, bro.
Hey,
Oh my
before you
God.
continue, Eddie gets a
No.
trivia question. Who slowed
Okay.
him down to get the block?
No. Wait. What? Oh. Never mind. That was something else.
Corrupt.
What's up?
Trivia question, Eddie. Before you continue, who slowed Iguodala down to get the help LeBron get the block?
Who slowed him down before LeBron get that block?
I know the answer to this.
Who slowed Iguodala?
Yeah, someone slowed Iguodala down so LeBron can come rush back and get the block.
Uh, it wasn't JR, right? No, it wasn't JR.
It was J.R. Smith.
It was JR. Okay.
J.R. Smith slowed them
Okay.
down, made him pass it to Curry. Curry passed it back, and
Okay.
then yeah,
I knew it.
it was the GOAT, J.R. Smith.
By the way, Chet,
Yo,
this is a less serious discussion.
yeah, we just sitting here just because this is an interesting discussion. You can make points for both ways.
Like, you shut up, Geo. Golly, you trash takes, bro. God damn. I don't know though. It's kind of like because the Heat didn't play like the Heat. They just didn't.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
and like, I don't know. It's just like they didn't have. Okay, they didn't have. I just don't know. That finals was so historic. It was so historic,
It
and it's like
was.
them going against the best. Yeah, you brought up the point that they didn't win against the East, right? They had an
Hmm.
easier time going through the East, but with them beating the best team ever, doesn't that prove? Well, my bad. The record wise, the best
Record
team record
wise,
wise ever. I'd say they're
but
worse than the Bulls.
you could
That
argue
doesn't that mean that
if
they'd win
Draymond
against?
doesn't get suspended for 1 or 2 games, they close out the series the next game that Draymond's not suspended. I feel like because Draymond Green statistically in Game 7 was the Warriors' best player, I believe. So Draymond Green had his best series of all time in that year. And if you take that if Draymond continues to play, that adds an extra element to the Warriors. You could argue, I'm not saying that they will win, but you can make the argument that the Warriors close it out if Draymond did not get suspended. Which I think we can agree that he probably shouldn't have been suspended. Maybe he could have been ejected, cool. But if Draymond did not get suspended, then you could argue that the Warriors close out the series the next game or the game after that. Like I said, you
I
could.
want to see something.
People are gonna disagree. And like I said, Draymond had a great game 7 too. So that just goes to show how good of a series he was still having. So you can
I'm
go off
gonna see
that.
from your pick because I kind of feel like that's a little bit.
I know.
I
I
think
just know
that
Draymond had a really good game 7. So as corrupt as looking, and then like I said, you look at the Mavericks one, man. Who's won a championship without another All Star? Can you name another team? I think what the Pistons might have had only one All Star with Chauncey Billups was an All Star. I think.
um
I don't think because was Ben Wallace an All Star.
Giannis was Chris Middleton also?
Chris Middleton was an All Star this year, I
He
believe.
was. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was an All Star this year. But you see how deep we have to dig to find another team that won without an All Star. There's only what one other team. And someone correct me I believe the Pistons team had only one All Star. I believe Chauncey Billups is the only All Star. But how the degree of difficulty to win without a second All Star. And actually, speaking of the Pistons, that Pistons versus Lakers series in the early 2000s, that was also one of the more difficult championships to win.
I'm looking back at it, and it was Game 5 when Draymond was suspended, and they the Cavaliers won by like 14 points. I don't know if Draymond Green getting into that game would just just I don't know. Like I feel like
That's what I'm saying. You could argue it. I'm not saying
I
that they
mean
will or win, but I'm saying you can make the argument because you could say, all right, they won by 14 points. But if Draymond's defensive presence is there, maybe they don't get all those points. But like I said, I'm not saying they would win. I'm just saying you can make that argument there that the
I'm not.
Warriors with Draymond, who was an amazing player that series, defensively and a little bit offensively, you can argue that if he didn't get suspended for Game 5, that they close it out there. But they did it, and the Cavaliers won the title. So, but I just like in the way Dirk did it. He did it the right way too. He did it with the team he was drafted to. Didn't build a super team. Didn't have a second All Star. Went through the toughest conference in the league. Went through the defending champion. Beat the defending champions and beat the Big Three. What more can you ask from Dirk? What more can you ask from him? You beat the
Defending.
defending champion
Oh, Kobe,
Lakers.
Kobe, Kobe, Kobe.
Kobe. Yeah, you beat the defending champion Lakers and you beat the champion favorite Heat. You beat the top. You beat two of the best teams in the league to get there, along with a young talented Oklahoma City team when Kevin Durant was an amazing and Russell Westbrook was a good young guard. I mean, what more can you ask from Dirk there?
Like
I just think, and with the 3-1, like I said, you had a second All Star there. You had a second guy always step up for LeBron. Kyrie, when it mattered most, Kyrie might have not had the greatest stats that year. He might have not dropped 30, 40 points like LeBron. But when it mattered the most, and especially with the one shot, Kyrie Irving, and you can look up the stats to the stat check that. I don't know what his stats was that series, but Kyrie Irving was a second All Star to step up, where Dirk consistently did not have a second All Star to step up like
technically,
LeBron did.
technically, LeBron was the only All Star on that team. Technically,
Kyrie didn't make the All Star that year.
no, not
Wow.
2016.
Well, I thought he
No.
did.
I mean, I don't know, bro, because it's kind of like I Tyson Chandler was was pretty freaking. I don't know.
Chandler.
Bro, I understand what you're saying, but I don't know. I think Tyson Chandler. Shut up. Tyson Chandler. I
Jason
think
Terry.
Jason Terry and Jason Kidd. I don't know. It's just kind of like.
Jason Kidd was washed. That was like freaking old
Yeah,
man.
but
Like that's like That's like saying Rondo when you bring up this year's Lakers. Oh my God, John Rondo. Like come on, bro. Rondo's not in his prime.
yeah. Like, I don't know, bro. I just think it's just I don't know. I understand what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with it, but it's just so
Hmm.
hard to be. It's just so hard. Can you shut that dog up, please? It's so hard to just be like okay, look, you know that championship that's supposed to be impossible to happen. Well, it happened.
Hmm.
And not only did it happen like that, but you know, it, it was against one of the best teams ever created. That's just
Hmm.
so hard to argue against. It's like
It's hard
3-1
to
was
argue
it was
against.
it was so big, bro. Because like like that changed so much. Like that's just my God. Like I understand what you're saying about with Draymond, but at the
Hmm.
same time, couldn't you be like, oh, if Kevin Love didn't get hurt, like that one game, they would have won that game with Kevin
That's
Love.
what I said. That's what I said.
You
You
know what I
can make
mean?
the argument.
Like
I'm not
like
saying that they definitely would have won if Draymond
and
was
like
it.
if
So you
if
can
you
make the
look at it
argument.
if you look at it like talent wise,
Hmm.
the Warriors should have just won that series. Like they should have. They're the best team on
But
paper.
you can say the same. But the Miami Heat
I
should have
mean,
won the series. They should have won the series. They were the
true,
best team that year. They were the best team by far that year. Like Miami, you gotta win. You come on, LeBron. You can't play like
true.
Jason Terry. You can't play down to Jason Terry. Jason Terry can't. And Jason Terry right now can technically say I had a better series than LeBron. That is, come on, dude. Like the Heat should have won that series. Even with LeBron playing like Jason Terry, the way
like
Chris Bosh were still better than Dirk and whoever the secondary play with Jason Terry. Come on, I'm taking the Wade and Chris Bosh over Jason Terry and Dirk. Dirk is great, but Jason Terry. Oh Jesus, man, Jason
I
freaking
don't know.
Terry,
I
dude.
think I think we're kind of like underrating the Mavericks in that sense. Like we're kind of saying like all these things where they like it's just like they won a title for a reason, don't you think?
They
Like
did
don't you
no no
think
no. They
like
did.
like
They did win a title for a reason, and that reason was that Dirk literally said, "Come here, get on my back, and I'm gonna carry you to the finish line." But like the Heat, they should have won that series. It's no way.
they just got outplayed though. It wasn't like nobody got injured or nothing like that. They just got outplayed by the Mavericks. Like the Heat just didn't
Exactly,
play
and
as
that
good.
that helps my point more because the Mavericks just outplayed the Heat when in the Warriors series. You saw how there was no
But
injuries in the Mavericks series, but there was in the series that you're debating with. So that helps my point even more because you
but
said there
here's
was no injuries. The Mavs just outplayed them. Where the Cavs, there was an injury on both sides, but you took out the Warriors' primary defender, which is the glue to the defense, which is the reason why the Warriors were a decent defensive team that season.
But here's the thing though. The Warriors were a better defensive team than just Draymond Green. That they had Iguodala and then they
Right.
had Klay
They had
Thompson.
Iguodala.
With
Right. But
like
come on, you take out
what
the
I'm
anchor of
saying
a
is that
defense. That's like
that team
you
not
take the
only
engine out of a car. The car can still be nice, but you can still have nice tires. That's good. But you take out the engine, now everything has to find its way to get back in place.
but defense in the but that's not a good analogy because you don't need a
That is
like that's not a very good analogy because
yes,
Draymond
it is.
Green is not the engine of a no.
Yeah, that Warriors team, he wasn't the anchor or the engine of the
He wasn't like the entire fucking defense, bro. Here's the thing though.
Mhm.
The Warriors were a better team than that Heat team the Mavericks faced. They just were, right?
Yes, but the
And
Warriors also had injuries or not injury. I'm sorry, suspension when
if you look at
the Heat were healthy. The Heat were 100% healthy, and like I said, when you look how what they had to do, both teams had to do to get to that point, the Mavericks had no breaks. At least LeBron got to have a solid first round. I believe they beat what the Pacers. They swept the Pacers that year. Had a good first round. They just completely just said, "Hey Raptors, yeah, you're not on our level." And then they beat whoever they beat in the third. I think it was the Celtics or whoever they beat in the third round. And then when they got to the finals, that's when they got real. But with Dirk, he had to fight, fight. And then when he got to the finals, he couldn't even. When he got to the finals, it was like, oh, we gotta face them. I gotta fight again. Come on, dude.
well, I mean, I'm looking at this again, and the Mavericks swept the Lakers.
And they swept the defending champions. That's what makes it more impressive.
Isn't that? But doesn't that? I don't know. Yeah.
Corrupt's lost. He doesn't know what to say.
Like, cause it's like I understand what you're saying, MG. It's just like it's 3-1.
It is 3-1. Yeah, it's a lot of things that's 3-1. Yeah, it's just 3-1, 31. That's a number.
Like,
Yeah, so 3-1. Yeah, yeah.
like the
It's three
Mavericks
one. That's
only
what the
lost.
Ravens record is gonna be 3-1 this week, bro. Yeah.
Like the Mavericks. Here's why I'm kind of like, because yeah, they went against tougher competition, but the Mavericks only lost 3 games that entire playoffs before the finals. They only lost.
That's
They
what makes
lost,
it so damn impressive. They went
and
through
if
that
and
tough
if
competition and only lost 3 games, and then they destroyed.
yeah, but
Come on,
isn't that
with
just
no
isn't
second
that
All
doesn't that just mean
Star.
that we're underrating the Mavericks? Doesn't that mean that we're just underrating the Mavericks? Because like
I
if
mean, we
you're
might
doing
be
that
underrated
much,
supporting.
if you're
What's up?
doing that much, and that means that they were genuinely like a good team that should have been around the favorite spot. And with the Cavaliers, if you look at it talent wise and player wise, they were down 3-1 against one of the best teams ever. And like it's just kind of like hard for me to really believe that the Mavericks were just like that, just is not as good as like the Cavaliers that team was. You know what I mean? Like the Cavaliers
Mm-hmm.
were winning for a good reason. Like
Broncos
I
winning
feel like
tomorrow night.
no, uh, maybe I'm scared for tomorrow. I don't know. It's just I feel like it's very tough to say because 3-1, bro. 3-1. That's
3-1.
crazy.
I just think. I mean, I think we can end this right here because we're basically just recycling the same takes at this point.
All
But
right, put the
you
link in
can
the
make an
chat.
argument for both.
Put the link in the
But
chat.
the chat this side. Let's see. All right, so let's see. We have Josh who said something earlier. Cavs 2016 title. Hayden says I feel down 3-1. So they're agreeing with you there. The hardest champ. Oh, Gio with the bubble. Shut up. Jose says corrupt. The Spurs are going to get Ben Simmons. Hee hee. Jose said
No,
yeah. Tatum entered the year after the Cavs in the final 2017. Um,
after. Gotcha.
Gio says 73-9 doesn't mean shit without a championship. That's the words of Michael Jordan. I guess. Um, if the Warriors won in
Come on, bro.
2016, they still wouldn't be the best team of all time. If
What
the
would you say?
Warriors won that year, Gio said if the Warriors did it, if they did win the finals that we just talked about, they wouldn't. They still wouldn't be the best team of all time.
That's hard to debate that, dog. Honestly.
Yeah,
That'd be,
that is.
think about it. That'd be
Mhm.
4 finals in a row. They'd won 4 finals in a row.
Yeah, that's a fourth.
They would have won 20. They would have won 2015, 2016, 2017, and 2018, 4 in a row, which was never done before in modern NBA history.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, that. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. That's hard to debate,
Benji
yes,
got
bro.
cookie crumble. All right, so
You want to?
corrupts.
What's up?
What's up?
I was gonna say, yeah, we're gonna talk about that free NBA discussion. Whoever wants
So
to
now
join,
let me. I'm gonna put the link in the. I'm actually
put
pinned
put
a link in the chat.
yeah, put the link in the chat. Whoever wants to join the link, and we can talk a little basketball. We can talk about previous debates, or we can go into some just random stuff that you want to talk about, like the Bulls
Yes, sir.
or how my Spurs are going to be not very good this year. If you want to join up. And my mouth is drier than the desert. Holy crap.
Bruh. All
All
right,
right,
there
who's
we
gonna
go.
be first? Who's gonna be first?
All right, hello.
Hello?
Corrupts. Guess
Yes.
what?
What's up?
Why can I not hear you?
Hello.
Is it just me? I think. Hold on, let me take my AirPods off. Where's my
Chat,
AirPod
can you hear
case?
me?
It's all the way over there. Ah. Oh, let me see some. Why can I not? Why can I not hear you? It's
Hello?
weird.
Can you not hear me? Oh my gosh. God dang it, MG.
Okay. AirPods.
Other NBA finals
Okay,
we
I
can also talk
cannot hear
about
you
is
to save my life, Mike. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna leave and join back.
all right. Other NBA finals we can talk about. You can hear both? Okay, cool. I can I can hear him, but he can't hear me. Um, other NBA finals we can talk about is ooh, man, lots. So I think that man. Josh brought up before this. Josh brought a great one up with 26
There we go. All right, I can hear
93 Bulls against the Knicks.
you.
You know, what was also I think also a hard one, and this was more so for Michael Jordan.
What?
I think Michael Jordan, after his dad died, winning that chip.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know,
hmm
because it was because didn't his father die, right? And then he won a chip, and then he retired, right?
I believe that's how it
Was
went.
that 93?
I, I think I know Josh can clarify. He was
Josh, we need your
alive during
help.
that time. Yes, sir.
Ah,
So corrupt. We have to talk about the an elephant in the room. He's a 6'10" elephant, an elephant that doesn't have a jump shot, an elephant that is just a disgraceful elephant. What is your thoughts on everything going on with Ben Simmons and just everything that's going on right now?
Ben Simmons. After 93. Okay. After the 93 finals.
Okay.
Got you.
By the
Okay.
way, if y'all want to join the chat, y'all want to join, the link is right there. Join y'all can come on here and talk about these topics with us.
Okay. So Ben Simmons.
But
Oh, finally we can talk. We can just talk
hmm
regularly about Ben Simmons. Um,
hmm.
the Spurs have been very intrigued by him. I don't want him, but Ben Simmons basically did trash in the playoffs. Now he's basically just shunned
Yep.
himself from the team. He was just like, yeah, you know what? This team doesn't like me. Yada yada yada. I'm going to not. You're trading me. You're trading me. I'm not playing for this team. I'm done. Right. I think
Yeah.
the
hmm
76ers are going to trade him sooner rather than later. I think it's gonna be before the season starts. Do you think that too, MG? Yeah, I think it's gonna be
I got
before
a
that.
feeling it's going to happen soon.
I think I think both sides are being kind of trashy, honestly. You don't like I think
hmm
the 76ers needed I think they do need to trade Ben Simmons, but I also think that they could have handled this way differently. But I also very much disagree how Ben Simmons is handling things. Ben Simmons is being a certain diva.
hmm
Ben Simmons is just him saying like stuff like oh yeah, I'm not playing with Joel Embiid again. Like that's just kind of like just trashy. You
hmm
know what I mean? Especially as somebody like Joel Embiid,
hmm
like he's handling it wrong. I think he could have done this way better, and
hmm
I think if he did, teams would more likely call in. Honestly, I think the 76ers
hmm
though are being dumb also, and I say that because dude, Ben Simmons is not worth that much. He's just not. They're asking like, I want this young guy, and then 4 first-round picks, all this kind of stuff. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. This entire thing could have been
hmm
solved ages ago. Honestly, the 76ers should have traded Ben Simmons. Initially, they should have traded him for James Harden. We're not going to end that. They should have traded Ben Simmons away for like a good young player and like a first or something like that, and then it should have been done. It shouldn't. It shouldn't be. It's just so. This is just not supposed to be this difficult. It's just not supposed to be.
Yeah. Uh,
It said he tried to join but it wouldn't connect me to phone. What?
really,
Okay, that's weird.
I don't know why. I can try to post the link again. Yeah.
DM him the link.
Let me see something real
DM him
quick.
the link. I mean, you hear me? Yeah. So basically, that's what's happening. That's what's happening with Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is gonna get traded.
You know, perhaps you know how I feel about this.
How you feel about this?
I'm disappointed. I'm
Disappointment.
very disappointed. I'm just disappointed of just everything and how it played out. because when you look at Ben Simmons and when you look at how, you know, he's complaining about the fans and how, you know, how people think the fans are too hard on him. The thing is, when Ben Simmons got drafted, right?
Oh. Josh, can you hear that too? Is that just me? MG, you're a robot dog. Your mic.
Hello?
Nope. What is going on? We're experiencing technical difficulties. I apologize. If because you're experiencing these shut up! Because you're experiencing these technical difficulties, here is the mic of the day. There you go.
Oh, headphone time.
The headphone.
It's headphone time. Okay, do I sound like a
No.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
You're good.
But like I was saying before, my mic said no. I'm just disappointed, bro. I mean, we defended Ben Simmons since he got drafted, and the fact that he wants to act like a diva, the fact that he wants to act like this. I mean, to be completely honest with you, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, dude.
Mm.
And I'm gonna sound as rude, as disrespectful, and I respect all NBA players. It's hard to get to that point, but the fact that Ben Simmons is holding out of his contract when it's his fault that he's playing bad, and he's out here in a time today where people are struggling to get money. I grew up where money wasn't always easy. We couldn't get paid $180 million to not shoot the damn basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he's holding out, and Joel Embiid said it, that is disrespectful. And I get it if the team is bad and you want to hold out, or if you've been treated poorly. Ben Simmons has been babied by the coach. He's been babied by Doc Rivers. He's been babied by Brett Brown, who's our coach before Doc Rivers. The fan base defended him. I've had multiple fans. I've had Brock, who's a Sixers fan, came on my stream and defended him. I've defended him myself. Multiple videos defending him. When he got drafted, we said he was better than Joel Embiid. And the fact that you play horrible, you don't learn how to shoot the basketball, when that is literally your job to do. The fact that Benji here is long, that's true, Josh. The fact that you decide to play horrible, it's just disrespectful that you have the nerve to hold out. When there's people out here that work way harder than you in the NBA who don't get paid as much as you. I feel bad for those people as corrupt left. But Benji, why do you look like you just got out of jail because you just robbed a bank? You look like you just came home from jail.
I don't know, because this shit's too bright if I put this on. Maybe I can move it.
Yeah, this man look like he just came out from jail. He like, yeah, yo, I just did some time, man.
I did, bro. You know I've always been out here.
Oh, really? That's funny. Yeah, but talk about Justin Herbert being the GOAT. The greatest creation at the quarterback position.
He's going to win MVP. Not a big deal.
It's sad. It's sad he's going to lose to MVP frontrunner Derek Dimes this week.
You mean, wait, I didn't know they were playing the Rams.
Listen to this guy. Oh, my God.
Josh, did you get that link in the DM? I sent you on Discord.
I see. I sent it to Josh too.
Talking about NBA.
But Hayden, what are your expectations for the Bucks since we're on the NBA topic?
Let me go show you what my expectations are.
He's about to do something stupid, so I don't condone whatever he's about to do. Just to
if you do it, you will be banned.
This is my expectations. Another one.
All right, so Hayden, you're gonna sit next to Benji. All right, you're gonna sit next to Benji. You and Benji are gonna have a talk about why Hayden is a disgrace. So Benji, can you tell Hayden why he's a disgrace to sports?
Well, listen. First of all, this man fucking out here saying, "Oh, Aaron Jones, he's gonna have more rushing yards than Derrick Henry." And this man out here saying, "Oh, I'm glad we didn't trade for Khalil Mack. We got Rashawn Gary." This man out here with his dog face, saying all this, talking sports, but he doesn't even know what he's saying. You know, if there's one thing that I've learned about Hayden, knowing him for over a year, is that he's intelligent. He just doesn't know how to use his intelligence because he's out here throwing out random stuff. So listen, this might be the smartest thing you've ever said. I actually agree. I think the Bucks can repeat this year. I think they could for sure. You guys haven't gotten worse. I wouldn't say you guys have necessarily gotten better, but there's no reason why you guys can't repeat this year. You guys are a very good team. You proved a lot of the doubters. There were a lot of people who were doubting the Bucks last season. You proved them wrong, and I think that you guys deserve the respect that you've earned. You guys could definitely go out there and win another championship this year.
I think our bench got better though. That's the biggest thing I saw that got better. And somebody too that we're getting.
You got Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen. We also,
which is Benji's father, by the way. If you go look up Grayson Allen, Benji.
do it. He actually does.
I know what he looks like.
But you also got George Hill, who, in my opinion, is a great replacement for Bryn Forbes. Like, Bryn Forbes was inconsistent. He fucking had a great Series 1 versus, and then he just stopped the rest of the playoffs.
Hayden, guess what?
What?
Out of everyone on the Golden State Warriors, open shot, fate of the universe on the line
of the Martians.
With the Martians had the best being pointed at Earth, you better hit it.
I want Iguodala.
And he's actually on the Warriors this year again, so we can say that again.
So we could just say it even more than we did last year.
Yep. Corrupts. What are your expectations for the San Antonio Spurs?
So we're gonna get Amani Bates this year. I can't wait. First overall pick.
Oh really?
Yeah. He's gonna be the power forward of our future since we're gonna be what I expect from the Spurs this year is to see the young guys grow and to try and see what we have with this young core, and if we need to make some big decisions like Lonnie Walker. Who we need to draft if we're going to get Ben Simmons or not. It is a big year for us. If we don't go with Ben Simmons, then we're probably going more of the rebuilding route, or we're just going to chill, wait for our young guys to grow while we draft more. That's the Popovich way. Or if we trade for Ben Simmons, then I see more of a aggressive type of team, I guess. I don't know. I think it'd be like a new era type of stuff because I'm not expecting Ben Simmons. I'm just not, right? But maybe I don't know. The Spurs were never really one to get rid of young talent to just get this star player. I don't know. We just don't really do that. We just don't do that.
Yeah.
The biggest trade we've ever made was the
Kawhi.
Kawhi one. That was like one of the biggest trades we ever made. And the Kawhi, DeMar, those were like the biggest trades. Like, I don't know. This year, I expect us to not be very good. I expect us to get a high lottery pick, and hopefully this time we draft talent and potential, not just potential. So, honestly, it's going to be a rough year for Spurs fans. So,
will the Bulls finally be a playoff team this year?
No.
Is that even a question?
No.
It's a Hayden it is.
What do you mean no?
I just want to win $10, okay?
Okay, well, listen, you're not. And I'm actually very happy with what the Bulls have done. If you look at what we've had to deal with ever since about 2015, with the fact that Jim Boylan was our head coach, we had to deal with terrible seasons, winning 20 games a season. We go out in free agency, and usually, and Josh knows this, the Bulls don't do stuff in free agency. They just don't. We're out there, and what we do is we'll sign like guys like Thaddeus Young. And that'll be our biggest signing. We don't go out and sign these big free agents. And we decided that we needed to do that this season, and we went out and got Lonzo Ball. We went out and got DeMar DeRozan in the offseason. We went out and got Nikola Vucevic in the trade deadline. We are building a good team here, and it's not like we're just like old vets like the Lakers or something. No, we got young pieces too.
Facts.
Lonzo Ball has a lot of potential. Kobe White has a lot of potential. There's guys on this team. Zach LaVine still has a lot of potential. He's about only like 25 still, I think. You have all these guys who have loads of potential. Then you got DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic. We got great pieces on our team. There's no reason why we can't go out there and be a 4th seed, 5th seed, and make a little playoff run. I'm not saying we go out and win the finals or nothing like that, but if you look at what we've done, it's not unreasonable to say we could go out and win a playoff series. We could easily do that, and I truly believe we will. I like what Arturas Karnisovas has done for us. I also really like Billy Donovan as a head coach to develop Kobe White. I think Kobe White could be a good bench player for us. I never really wanted him as a starter, especially after last season. So it was a big thing for us to bring in Lonzo Ball, and now with our bench is good too. You know, it sucks that we had to give up Thaddeus Young, who was a great player for us. He would have been a good bench player for us, but we got DeMar DeRozan in return, and we upgraded to that position. So and by the way, Kurup, that was a great trade for both of us. I think we can agree that helped
What's
us
up?
both. I
The
said
daddy is
that
young
trade
and DeMar
was
DeRozan.
great for both of us. DeMar DeRozan.
I think y'all easily
us
won that
out.
trade, honestly.
I think they got the better player, but you got a good veteran in the Spurs. You got
And they got what? A first round pick? You guys got
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Before you
Yeah.
continue, Josh says in the comment, can't stress enough just how much all of our players complement each other. Top 7 offense and top 10 defense. I'm telling you, we do have a
10 defense.
good versatility on bench.
Yeah, I mean,
versatile, not versatility, Hayden.
Shut
It's
up!
versatile.
I woke
He
up.
can't.
Josh, is
an
it just
hour
not working?
ago.
Is it just not working?
Josh, you're right.
Yeah.
We have great defenders on our team. You know, Lonzo Ball can play some good defense, and
Mhm.
DeMar DeRozan can play some good defense. Nikola Vucevic, he can play some good defense. Oh, the one guy who would like to see get
Sometimes.
better at defense is Zach LaVine. He's got some lacking defense, but we do have some guys that can play good defense on our team.
DeMar DeRozan can play good defense when it's not in the playoffs.
DeMar, that's the thing. DeMar DeRozan, in my opinion, has become a better defender with the Spurs.
Yeah. Yo, he's become a better playmaker. People are not talking about how good of a playmaker DeMar DeRozan has been.
DeMar DeRozan's not as good as a scorer as he used to be, but playmaking wise and defending wise, he became better.
And listen,
he
it's
still
not
has
like
the
he's
mid-range
the
shot.
number one. With the Spurs,
Yeah.
he was like the number one guy. Like he was your guy's
Mhm.
superstar, right? Well, we
Well,
got Zach LaVine and Vucevic, who are both, I
Mhm.
think, better than him at their position
Shut
than
up!
he is at his position. Oh, no,
Mhm.
not the dogs again. So it's not like
Um,
he has all this pressure on him to be like the star of the team. He's got multiple other guys who could be the star of the team. Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic. So when you put
And then you got Alonzo.
when you put a team with Nikola Vucevic, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Lonzo Ball together, and I don't understand.
Patrick Williams.
Patrick Williams too, yeah. I totally forgot about him. He could turn into a star. I mean, he has a hell of a lot of potential. I know a lot of people compared him to Kawhi Leonard. I'm not saying he's going to be Kawhi Leonard, but he does have some good defense there, and he can go up and dunk the ball. He can be a good scorer for us. And by the time DeMar DeRozan's out of Chicago, we got Patrick Williams who's been developing. He can be a starter for us. He could be a star. So
Mhm.
with all this together, and we have the right coach, in my opinion. I think we have the right coach. What's up, Josh? We could we could definitely be a top 4 seed.
Hello.
Number 5 seed.
Josh.
I was literally
hear
just
me?
about that. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Okay. Yes, finally. All right. What up?
What's up? You can hear everybody just fine, right?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So I was gonna say something. Oh, the trade. So see, like I like the trade for us, but I think y'all just easily won. I don't know. Like, yeah, the first was fine, but that first is a late first. It's like that first is gonna be down the line.
Thaddeus Young's great.
Thaddeus Young is good, but honestly, there's been a lot of talk that Thaddeus Young might not even be in a team by deadline week. Might be for another trade.
You guys are rebuilding.
Yeah, I understand, but I feel like we could have done better. I feel like, but I don't hate it. We need to get rid of DeMar DeRozan. I'd rather get rid of him than I'd rather get something back than just get rid of him. You know what I mean? Than just free agency.
Yeah.
So I like that. But unlike what Hayden thinks, I think that this team, and what a lot of people think too, a lot of people think this Bulls team is going to be like a 8th or 7th seed. I'm pretty high in the Bulls this year. I think.
Now you're not.
Outside of our bet, I do have the Bulls making the play.
Now, finish what you were saying. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So this I want to bring something up, and actually, before I do, Josh, want to do something quick about your Bulls? Want to talk a little bit about it, or?
Yeah.
you think there's anything to add on to it, or
No,
what
I,
do you
Or
think?
did
I think you I think you guys made great points. They are going to be such a really good team this year. People are thinking that we are not deep, and Benji mentioned earlier, we do have a really good versatile bench. I mean,
mhm.
we've got a probably a good solid 10, 11 man rotation with this team. Tony Bradley, we got Derrick Jones Jr. You know, we have some great pieces coming off the bench. I look Caruso, Kobe White when he comes back in mid-November. You know, and
Ayo
defensively,
Dosunmu.
Ayo Dosunmu, who's been really incredible through training camp so far. And and another thing people are going to say that we're bad at, but which is not really that true, is that we're a bad defensive team. No, our defensive rating last year was 12th, and we were 14th with points allowed throughout the entire season.
Mhm,
That's better than half the league. And with
Yeah.
all the
mhm.
players that we just acquired during the offseason, we are going to be a much better defensive team. I think we will be a top 10 defensive team.
And
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Patrick Williams, he's a great defender. And Lonzo Ball's an underrated defender,
Absolutely.
bro. That man
Mhm,
is.
Oh, yeah.
And you bring up good points too. I totally forgot to mention Derrick Jones Jr. He's coming off our bench. That dude
Mm-hmm.
can dunk like he's a great dunker. He's a great scorer. It's gonna be if it's gonna be dangerous to play the Bulls because even when you're playing against all those great starters, Nikola Vucevic,
Yep.
Lonzo Ball, we've talked about all of them, right? Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. You still gotta go out and guard guys on the bench like Kobe White, and go out and guard guys like Derrick Jones Jr. It's not that easy. Those guys,
mhm.
when they get
I'm so
hot,
glad.
they're really good.
I'm so glad you brought up the dunking because I don't think anyone's gonna be on the highlight reel more than the Chicago Bulls this year. Between Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball, Derrick Jones Jr., Tony Bradley, Alex Caruso, this is gonna be
Caruso.
Lob City point 2.0, man. This is
Yep.
gonna be insane. We're gonna be fast. We're gonna be athletic, and we're gonna be some slashers. It's gonna be great.
Oh,
Yeah.
Caruso, bro. That man is gonna be.
Yep.
I feel like everyone in the Bulls starting
Oh, yeah.
lineup is a great dunker, except for your biggest person in your starting lineup. Because Vucevic
Yeah.
doesn't dunk, bro. This man
That's
is a
true.
finesse player.
Yeah, he's a
Vucevic is
stretch
such
guy.
a finesse.
Stretch the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He stretches the floor. He shoots the. Vucevic is one of the best offensive
And-
centers in the game, though.
And
No
bro,
doubt. And
be ready
facilitator
for
too.
my
Mhm.
white boy Caruso, bro. That man's about to be
Hey,
balling out
white
there.
men can jump.
He's got
White
hops.
chocolate.
Yeah,
He's the white mamba.
the white mamba.
Nobody cares about freaking Brian Scalabrine. It's Alex Caruso.
It's Caruso.
He
White
also
mamba.
brings that. He also brings that championship pedigree. He knows what it takes to win. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Getting rid of Lauri Markkanen, I honestly didn't hate that trade either.
I love that. And you know what? And it was important too.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, there was way too many problems with Lauri. And he wanted to be a Bull.
Mm-hmm.
He said it. He wanted to stay as a Bull. But he just
He can't.
I don't think we could have kept him.
He doesn't have a spot on this team. When you look at it, what you guys got? You
No,
got
he's
DeMar
not a
DeRozan,
starter
Patrick Williams, Patrick Williams, Derrick Jones Jr., Vucevic. Like, look at all the forwards and
We
centers.
got Derrick Jones.
Tony
Jr.
Bradley. You got Derrick Jones Jr. for him. You got Tony Bradley. Like, look at all the forwards and centers. He can't fit on this team.
Yeah, no.
He just can't.
So, one thing I want to say is
Mhm.
that the NBA rules. I
Yeah.
love what the NBA is doing this year, in which they
Okay.
are making how this. If anybody doesn't know, they changed the rule where like people who like would force a foul on the offensive side would get the foul, like they bump
It's
into the
offensive
player,
foul.
and then that's a foul on the defensive side. They're changing that rule, and that's not allowed anymore. What do you guys think about that?
I like it.
I love it.
I do.
It's been long overdue.
It has.
Yeah, I'm tired
Yeah.
of facing Trae Young and him running into Ben Simmons or Matisse Thybulle, and it's a foul, bro. That's
Yeah.
annoying, bro.
MG,
What's up?
we had to deal with it with James Harden and Trae Young in the fucking playoffs.
In the East. Yep.
It pissed me off
it's
every single time.
dude. Against freaking Luka too. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I know I was Luka's best friend earlier, but Luka is too talented. James Harden is too talented to be doing that, bro.
Yeah.
They can score in so many other ways. I just be frustrated when they do it because y'all don't need to do that to score. It's not like y'all suck. Y'all have no skill. Y'all have to flop in order to get points. Y'all can score off of your just pure skill. But I get it, manipulating the refs and trying to get as much points as possible doing that, but it's annoying. And I ain't gonna lie, Joel Embiid does it sometimes too. He
Every
does
player
it sometimes too.
Everyone does it.
Everyone has done it at least once.
Not Ben
Try to take
Simmons because he
advantage
don't
of
even
that
shoot the ball.
situation.
What do
That
you? Ben Simmons don't even take shots.
Man, get Ben Simmons the fuck out of Philadelphia. That man's
Oh
a
yeah,
clown.
he's gone. He's
That
gone.
Right,
man's a
He's gone.
clown.
it's bad.
He can't take the heat because he couldn't do anything for you guys. He couldn't benefit you guys in the playoffs, and now he wants to cry about it. You know what? If you're a professional athlete and you are getting paid this much, you should be able to show up in the playoffs. And when you don't, guess what? You're gonna get shit for it. If you can't handle that, get the fuck out. You
He
don't
doesn't.
belong on
He
the
doesn't
team.
belong in the high market. Me and Josh were talking about this last week, Josh. I think I asked you your opinion on Ben Simmons.
Yep.
And we talked about it.
Yep.
Like he doesn't belong in a high market team where the fans are very passionate and the fans expect winning. They expect relevance. Listen, bro, you get paid $180 million. Okay, we
Go
gave
to
him
the
a $180 million contract. All we ask you to do is improve on your jump shot. Like, come on, dude. If everyone up here right now, we'd make $180 million. If we got paid that and all they said was improve your jump shot, bro, I bet you all of us in here, we at the gym shooting it. Oh, bro, come on, dude.
Let's
Come
My
be
jump shot
on.
doesn't need improvement. It's
Let's
all right.
Okay, all right, Benji.
We
Okay.
all have a better
Okay.
jump shot than Ben Simmons.
Nah, but
Bro.
you know what?
Have one.
You know what, Josh? I don't know if you saw this video, but there was a post on the Bulls' social media, and it was Lonzo Ball's jump shot, and oh my god, it is so clean. It is so clean.
Absolutely. The form is so much better.
Oh, he
Absolutely.
got so
Yeah.
much.
Love it.
Like, bro, Lonzo didn't get paid nearly of what Simmons got paid, but he still improved on his jumper. Come
He
on,
did.
bro.
It's
Come on,
That's
bro.
mentality,
it's about
bro.
working hard. It's mentality.
Yep. It's work
and
ethic. Yep.
Ben Simmons just doesn't have that, at least with Philadelphia. And you know, you can see sometimes these guys just need to change the scenery. They change as a player when they're traded. But if I'm like the GM, who's your guys GM? Philadelphia
Daryl
GM?
Morey.
Yeah, if I'm him, I'm just gonna say, listen, you provide nothing to the team anymore, especially with all the drama that comes with you. I'm going to trade you, and you know you guys probably won't get that much for Ben Simmons, knowing that teams know that you want to get him out. And
You gotta reverse layup.
Sean,
Benji.
Hey,
Sean's
listen,
speaking
Sean.
fast.
Listen, I'll cross you up. I'll make you look silly. I'll make you look silly.
That's
What do you mean he
facts,
needs
Sean.
to work on his reverse layup? Benji needs
You
to
didn't see
learn
that
what a
reverse
reverse layup
layup?
is before he
Yeah.
works on
Yeah,
it.
he
You know
did like a
what?
fadeaway. He did a fadeaway
It was
jumper.
a year ago.
Benji did like a fadeaway
They call
jumper layup. I
me
don't know what
white
that was.
chocolate. They call me white chocolate.
Oh
Hey,
really?
Josh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How does it feel? I'm gonna win in a 1v1 versus you.
How does it feel to be so delusional as you are?
Hayden,
Hey,
out
I'm
of
not-
everyone
Josh.
on this
Hey,
pen,
Josh, listen
out of
to
everyone
this.
in this chat, Hayden has the least chance to beat Josh up here.
Listen, Josh. This man wears Crocs while he's hooping. He is
And
wearing Crocs, bro.
Crocs
Oh,
are life.
Josh,
Jesus
this dude
Christ.
is literally has no athletic gift. No, not even you don't even have to be athletically gifted. This man just sucks, dude. This dude is just bad. He just sucks.
MG, I would go to
Like-
Philly and just drop.
You would probably be the
50
only
on your
person that
ass.
would lose one-on-one to Rocha in a basketball game.
Highly doubt
Big play
that.
Slade
Nah,
up
that's
in here.
facts.
Let's lay it.
Roach
Dude. I'm like,
is probably good, bro. I feel like Rocha could honestly hoop a little bit.
Honestly, I feel like
He has
Roach
some
got a
shots.
good
Bro,
jumper.
did you see what he did on QC and Front?
He
He
had some shots.
dunked, bro.
Mhm.
Like, Roach can
And then he
dunk.
got tortured.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That's what they're gonna do to you. Isaiah and MG, when they meet you in person, that's what's gonna happen to you.
Nah.
Oh, bro, we're gonna destroy, bro. I'm gonna hate Hayden, bro. Just if you want to forfeit right now, just say it. Say I quit.
MG, I'm gonna drop 50 on your
Hayden,
ass.
you have no athletic bones, bro. You have nothing. You offer nothing, bro. You went 2 for like 100 from the 3-point line one day.
That was when I was getting warmed up.
You
I
went
haven't
2
played
for
in
a-
4
warmed
I
up?
don't-
years.
You took
I
100 shots.
haven't
to
You
played
100
in
shots to
4
warm up?
years.
That's no. No, 100 shots is a warm up. Come on, dude.
Bruh, I'd rather have Ben Simmons shooting threes than him, bro.
Yes, dude. The
What's
AJ Simpson's
Benji?
go magic.
What's up, MJ?
What's up, Big Play Slay?
What's up, Big Play Slay?
What's up, Corrupt?
EPS.
Hello,
I saw y'all's debate earlier, man. That was great.
Yeah, the Giannis and Luca one. I already knew what time it was for that. I already knew that was
Hey,
going to be the outcome.
It's Luke.
Okay,
It's
so
fine.
That
so
got
I got a
heated.
question.
What's
I
up,
got a
Benji?
question for Corrupt, especially here. Okay, Corrupt.
Okay.
Who's better, Donovan Mitchell or Luka Doncic? Because he said Donovan Mitchell last season.
He left.
Oh,
He left.
he dipped on that one.
He loves Donovan Mitchell that much? Damn, bro.
One day
He said
said
Donovan
it.
Mitchell over
He said-
Luca.
He did.
One day, bro. JB was there, bro.
Buddy.
Damn. That's crazy.
I love
here he
Donovan,
is.
Donovan,
but
Now he
I
wants
don't
to
love
come
that
back.
much.
I
All right,
have
corrupt.
some
So are you gonna
bad
answer
takes,
Benji's
but
question?
I know that.
So it is Luka Doncic has always been Luka Doncic. I have never said it was not.
Yo, that's so
That is not
cap,
true.
cap.
Do we have to get JB?
I do not want this man talking when he wasn't there.
Alright,
Shut
you-
up, hater.
I know
You
you
sit
want-
next to Benji now, corrupt.
Damn.
Put me back up
Matter
on
of
the
fact,
on the.
you know. Matter of fact, and Big Play Slay sits down there with you.
Oh, so Eagles are at the
All right.
bottom. See how it is.
Bro, dude. Okay, look. I never said that. I was joking, bro. I never actually believed that Luka Doncic.
Oh my God, the dogs don't even agree with you.
You and
Your dogs are like, yo. His dogs,
Hey,
his dogs know, bro.
MG,
The
you
dogs
can back,
know.
MG, you can back me up on this. Him and
Bro,
JB
he said.
kept
Mhm.
on going on and on about how Donovan Mitchell's a better defender. Yeah. You were
I
going
hate
on
you
and
guys.
on with JB
Alright,
about he's a
so-
better defender. He scores practically the same amount of points. He's better playmaker.
What?
All right, so
See, now I know they're
I'm
capping because,
being-
dude, Luka Doncic averages a triple double. Like, why would I ever say that?
if
No,
I'm being
dude,
honest
you-
here,
That's false. That's false.
all right. So let's look at the 4 debates we did today.
4? Oh, I
We
guess
did
I would
4.
do
Yeah.
that. That one
The
wasn't
hardest
really a debate.
championship. I don't really count the championship one. We were kind of just talking at that point. But the other 3, I think I won the Luca one, and I think I won the Devin Booker one.
What was the Devin Booker
No,
one?
people are gonna say that. Nah.
The
See, I
Matisse
know-
Thybulle one. That's the Matisse Thybulle. I debated passionately. That's the one I
You were just
all the
debating
research
because
for that.
Matisse Thybulle was your guy. You know Drew Holiday's a better defender.
Nope.
I personally,
You
I
know
still
that.
think I won the. I think I won the Donovan Mitchell and Drew Holiday one. So
MG.
No.
you know what? And I know that you won the Giannis versus Luka one because I
Yes.
like
Mhm.
like towards the end I was like, God fucking damn, this guy's making good points. Like I was
MG.
thinking like on your side.
Look at me.
Like I was, you were starting to say like some good points. I was like, shit, yeah, that's actually a good point.
MG, I will smack the fuck out of you if you say Matisse Thybulle is a better defender than Drew Holiday again.
Hey, bro.
You're gonna smack
Hey,
him?
bro. I mean,
So-
I had every single point to back me up. It's just that
I agree
Matisse
with
Thybulle
that.
doesn't play enough.
Bruh,
It just
I love
Matisse Thybulle doesn't play enough. But everything
he's
I
not
have every
playing
point to back
superstars.
myself up.
He's not guarding.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
That's what I said.
But
That's
see,
what
that's
literally
false.
what I
'Cause
said.
every time he play, every time we throw him in, it's to guard superstar. But we're not
No,
going
it
to
is
get into
not
this.
cap,
That's you don't watch the games, corrupt. You
Who
don't. You watch
guards-
20 out of the
okay, all right,
72
answer
Sixers
bro.
me.
So
games this year.
every
You
time,
watch-
so every 15 minutes he's going. He's playing
who is guarding,
against starters.
Who is guarding superstars more?
For majority of the
starting-
time,
the
he's thrown
starting
in
players.
to guard the best guard on the other team that game. Yes, because Ben
Who is
Simmons is
guarding-
most likely
playing
taking a
at
break
that
because Ben
moment?
Simmons
Who
is a
is
baby.
There.
Who is playing at that moment? Who is? It's not the playoffs, bro. It's not
You
the
said what?
playoffs. They have the bench too. They have a bench too.
Well, obviously, they have a
and
bench,
we've
corrupt.
been through this.
What do you have? A couch there? What do you have? A freaking lawn chair? What do you have? A bed?
No, bro.
Obviously, they have-
Dude, they have like 10 people play the entire night, bro. During the regular season. Of course, he's not going to get superstars the entire time, bro. Come on, that's cap. And if he's going against their best player, he's playing on the court, which is usually the bench. So there you go. Thank you for proving my point.
No, the best player that's playing on the court corrupts. No,
I meant at that time. I didn't say he was playing on the court. I said at that time.
Anyway,
No,
let's
Corrupt's-
just move on.
Corrupt's wrong. but like I said, I had everything to back myself up for it, and Here's the freaking.
Get out of here.
I don't even know what to compare Big Play Slate to.
What's up,
Big Play
guys?
Slate's just a Lions fan right now.
No,
Yeah.
And a
I
Giants
got
fan.
like a red T-shirt. Sweater on. So.
And a Giants fan.
How does
Lions
it feel
fan.
your team
Everybody
has
spam
not
Lions
gotten
fan in the
one?
chat.
So another.
Lions fan, Benji.
Yes, you are a Lions fan. Just accept it.
The Giants and the Lions fan. That's crazy.
Oh, Benji, how do you feel that you're going against Big Play Slate's team this week?
In fantasy?
No,
Oh.
in football.
Oh,
No,
Lions.
he's a Lions fan.
I was like, what? Well, you know, I wouldn't trust. Listen, I have us winning, but I wouldn't trust us to win because guess what? Matt Nagy's our fucking head coach.
Who is gonna be the quarterback on Sunday?
It'll be
Oh,
It'll be
and
Fields.
you know what?
It'll be
Since we're talking about this, don't you think, Matt Nagy, that it would be better for your quarterback to know if he's starting or not before
Yes.
game day so he can prepare
Oh, of
for it
course.
to play better? Oh no, it doesn't
It'd be
cross
nice.
your mind. And you
It'd
you little fucking clown. You say, oh, we're considering all quarterbacks, including Nick Foles. You can leave. You can leave because guess what? Chicago doesn't have your back. The fans don't have your back. The players don't have your back. Even Bill Lazor didn't have his back. He was out there basically taking shots at Matt Nagy in the press conference. He was like, I don't know what the protection plan was. I know saying that. If Bill Lazor is not calling the plays, which, by the way, Matt Nagy's too much of an egotistical fuck to say who is calling the plays because he knows if he were to say it's Bill Lazor.
Did you hear about what happened yesterday?
What?
It's ridiculous. It's
Mhm.
ridiculous what is going on in Chicago right now, and
know-
it's ridiculous that we haven't fired Matt Nagy yet.
You know what's funny
Did you hear
about
what
Nick
happened
Foles?
yesterday, though?
What, Josh? What's your
What's up,
question?
Josh? Hello?
Josh, wake up. Time for school.
I think it's my
Josh, yes. Yeah, I think he
You
cut
guys hear
out.
me? You
But
guys hear me?
Yeah,
now we can.
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
Yeah.
Do,
Hello?
do.
Yeah.
Hello.
We hear you.
Hello, sir. And there goes Josh. You know
But
what's funny about
I
the
don't think he
Bears?
could hear us. I
It's
don't think
funny
he
how
could hear
Nick Foles is getting considered to start. It's funny how you're considering Nick Foles to start, but he barely even played in the preseason.
no,
Exactly.
listen,
Oh.
Nick Foles probably won't start, but you know what it does to a rookie quarterback when you don't even have the confidence to say, oh, he's a starter. When Andy Dalton, if you were to look at it this way, right? Andy Dalton's not 100%. He's still not 100%. So why not come out and just say, Justin Fields is our starter. Let's make it like that. Because guess what? You're not fooling the Lions with your game plan against Andy Dalton or Justin Fields because it's the same game plan no matter what quarterback it is. They had the same game plan for Justin Fields as they had for Andy Dalton out there. He threw past 15 yards 2 times that whole game. One of them was a DPI. It made no sense at all to do what they did with Justin Fields, especially the play calling. And you had guys like Cole Kmet blocking Myles Garrett. It's ridiculous. There should be no reason why you have tight ends blocking guys like Myles Garrett and not helping out your quarterback. He got sacked 9 times that game, and it's not like he had anywhere to throw to because he would run dumb wide receiver routes that weren't open at all. And even Nick Foles said it on the sideline. He said, this offense isn't working. It's not working. It just wasn't. Nick Foles knows it. I seriously believe if you put Justin Fields out there and said, Justin Fields, you can call the plays, he would have called better plays than Matt Nagy. He would have had more successful play calling than Matt
He's
Nagy.
not Aaron Rodgers, okay? Calling
Shut
the
up,
plays.
Hayden. Hey, not every time it's time to talk about Aaron Rodgers, dude.
But
That's why he's leaving next year. Anyways.
but Josh, what were you saying?
Facts.
Can you hear us?
Yeah. So what I was gonna say was earlier this week. I don't know if you guys have heard this or not, but Matt Nagy had a meeting with all the players, everybody, coaching staff, and said, "Hey, if there's anything you guys want to say, I'm gonna give anyone the floor to speak their mind." And Nick Foles immediately got up and he basically reportedly called out Matt Nagy and his offense and what he has been doing and his lack of confidence in Justin Fields and just the game plans that he's been putting together, which is not giving us anything to succeed on. So I really respect the hell out of Nick Foles for doing that because reportedly he called him out during this meeting. and I love that. I love that he did
Yeah,
that.
You know,
I mean,
That's good.
I didn't see that, but I mean, if I wouldn't doubt that Nick Foles did that. Nick Foles is the type of guy to say something, not just sit there and do nothing about it. And it's ridiculous to me. And you know what? I can honestly agree with Dan Orlovsky on something here. It almost seems intentional what Matt Nagy did that day with against the Browns. It almost seems like he wanted to mess up Fields just to show how
He did.
he didn't want him to be the starter. And it makes no sense. And also, you have
Mhm.
Matt Nagy out here, and he said this yesterday, I think, Josh. I don't know if you saw this, but he said, "Oh, we don't want an injured quarterback to start for us," which he was talking about Justin Fields. And guess what happened? Justin Fields came out right after him and said, "My thumb's fine. It's been fine." He just wants any reason not to start him. He wants any reason not to start him. I mean, it's ridiculous. And you see
Is
what it
he
does.
That's
racist
pathetic.
at this point?
That's pathetic.
Is it racially motivated? Like this man.
Yo, you want to know the funny part? It's been like a conspiracy that the Bears
It
are racist.
seems
'Cause they
racist
never
at this
had a
point.
black coach.
Bro, this is like
That's
we
fucking
finally drafted a black QB and now we gotta deal with
Yeah.
this. I swear. But
That's
it's like it makes no sense. And then you want to come out here and say that Nick Foles is considered. Just leave. Just leave. Because at the end of the day, there's no point in you staying. You've lost the fan
It
base.
seems
You've
racist
lost the
at this
coaching
point.
staff.
I
You've
mean, why
lost
not
the
let
players.
Laser call plays?
I mean, he probably is because he is. There's no way Matt Nagy calls all of the plays, but he won't come out and say it because he's Matt Nagy. He's just an egotistical guy. He's not gonna come out and say it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I wish someone would come out in a press conference and address all the problems with him, but I know they can't. But it would be real interesting to see someone. And Bill Lazor kind of did it, but
Right.
see someone address what's been going on.
And a
So
coward.
if you lose to the Lions, do you fire Nagy if you're the Bears front office? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean you should, but we won't because we don't fire head coaches during the season really at all. But at this point, in my opinion, Josh, you can say whatever you want after me, but I think that we should just clean house. Pace gone, Nagy gone. The only guy I'd say we should keep is Sean Desai and Bill Lazor. I'm just done with this.
Yeah.
Oh, we
Done
got
with the coaching
BLSG in the chat.
But outside of the Nagy stuff, Josh, Benji, Arlington, you bought land there. How do you feel about that?
What?
It's
The
wild to think
Bears
that we
bought land in
will
Arlington.
be possibly moving. And I think we will. Yeah, it's crazy, bro, but it makes sense. It does.
I mean, we bought it.
It does make sense
already.
because Soldier Field is the smallest stadium in the NFL. You know, it's the smallest stadium in the NFL. The parking's absolutely non-existent and terrible. It's an awful experience to try to tailgate out there as someone who has tailgated many times out there. And yeah, there's so many more incentives to try to move to Arlington Park where we could, get some other big events here, Super Bowls, WrestleManias, and also the Chicago Bears are wanting to work with some casinos and sports books, and the city of Chicago.
And just that.
I think there's something wrong with his mic.
Yeah,
I don't know,
what it
but
is.
I mean, it's a great
Yeah,
thing.
my shit's way too choppy.
There we go.
Yeah.
You're back.
Damn.
But
I think it's a great thing that we're moving. It makes sense. Everything that Josh just said, that Soldier Field's just not a good stadium. It has history, but it's not a good stadium. It's not somewhere you want to go for a football game. And Arlington Heights, they're building like a casino inside of it. That's what they want to do. They want to build a casino inside of it. They want to do all this stuff, all this potential. And it makes sense because we could host a Super Bowl. You look at what all these teams are doing, making new stadiums. It gives you more fans around you, and it gives you a better stadium overall. So there's no reason why we shouldn't do it. And then you got the mayor of Chicago coming out here trying to say, "Oh, you're not moving." It doesn't matter. We're at the end of the day, I think the Bears are going to move there. I think it's a lot of Bears fans saying, "Oh, I don't like it." You have to realize that the stadium of Soldier Field is just
It's
not
shit.
up to par with stadiums right
It's
now.
not. It's like
It's not a good stadium, and
it's
having
not. Like
Swift is better than Miles and Monty. Just saying. I'm just joking.
Swift?
I'm just joking.
anything to
anyways,
do.
but
Anyways,
I
Yeah,
like
anyway.
it for you guys. Honestly, you need to redo it. Like it.
watch this, y'all.
parking's
Watch this. Might do a magic
terrible.
trick. Y'all ready?
Wow.
Magic trick. I kick Hater and Josh left.
All right, so I have a big question because I'm pretty sure this everybody here has different fan bases and this is an NBA talk. So
He has like 3 different fan bases. Big places.
who do y'all think is winning MVP this season for the NBA?
For football, basketball, MVP is gonna be Giannis Durant.
It's gonna be a Giannis, I think.
Or it's gonna be Anthony Davis.
Actually, no, Alex
No,
Caruso.
I got
Put it on the board, man. Alex Caruso. It's my hot
no.
take. He's winning
What do you
MVP.
mean? It's clearly gonna be Taylor Horton Tucker.
Ben Simmons. It's Ben
Nah,
Simmons.
Taylor Horton Tucker.
But
Or
In all
damn, we've
seriousness,
been live for 3 hours.
yeah,
Yes.
probably gonna wrap this up soon, right? But in all seriousness,
Yeah, we're probably gonna wrap this up
it's
soon.
hard because I feel like there's gonna be somebody that we don't know, like we're somebody that's gonna be under the radar.
hmm
I could say somebody
So who?
like
Kevin Porter Jr.
no. I think somebody has to break out this year. I don't know. I'm tired. I'm tired of like going circling around the same guys over and over again. You know, like it's gonna be Luka, this guy, this guy.
Giannis, KD, Curry.
I'm going to say Luka just because he hasn't won it yet. I'm just gonna say Luka. So
I know I said Giannis in the chat, but I thought it was just me being biased. My actual MVP is Trae Young.
All right. My MVP is Kevin Durant.
mine is probably Stephen Curry. I think he's gonna go off this year.
I'm not head out, guys. But thank you for having me.
All right.
Yeah, Benji.
No problem. All right, so, and
Hope
we
you
are gonna end the stream anyway. We're gonna end anyways here. So make sure you guys subscribe to Corrupt's channel. Link will be down in the description. Big Play Slay. I think I'll be live on his channel in like less than an hour. Hayden, he's a Packers fan. That's all you need to know.
Donnie.
Wait.
I forgot we had a live stream with Donnie today.
Tonight, go watch the Ben podcast episode. Will be out around 6 p.m.
Yes.
6 p.m.
Yes.
Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. So go
Yep.
watch the Ben
Special
podcast.
guests on this next Ben podcast episode. But ladies and gentlemen, if you like things that you like, then you will like this video. So like the stream. So hit the like button if you if you like the stream. As always, Hayden.
Yeah.
You get the last word.
Better
Why
not say
Hayden?
easy. Why him?
Stay cheesy.
Oh my god.
No.
All right,
no.
never mind. I'm not ending. Big Play
No.
Slay. How about you get a chance?
Yeah.
Let's go. Motown. DeAndre Swift is better than Miles. And
All right, Corrupt, your turn.
I'm just joking. But like,
All right, this is going to be the final words. The final words is first off, my Dougs need to shut the fuck up. Second
that should
off,
be the final words.
damn, Corrupt.
have a very wonderful day, guys. I want to do this again, like soon. More topics.
Mm-hmm.
As the NBA is going to happen, all that kind of stuff. And watch out for more content with me and MG. I'm just saying, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You got some things
Big
open.
videos,
You know what I'm
bro.
saying?
Big
Just saying.
videos.
Just saying. All right,
Videos.
MG,
And that
the
is
man,
final
the myth,
word.
the legend.
Goodbye.